we're going through it right now, man. Okay? Revelation 19, verse 10. And I fell at his feet to worship him, and he said unto me, see thou do it not. I am thy fellow servant and of thy brethren that have the testimony of Yahweh Shah.
And that's talking about the angel, because John Reverend saw the angel, he got fearful and started to bow down. The angel said, don't worship me.
USB-C.
Right? So those people that think you can worship angels, it's not true. Okay, because the angel who said, don't worship me, man. Okay, go ahead.
Worship the Heavenly Father, for the testimony of Yahweh Shah is the spirit of prophecy.
For the testimony of Yahweh Shah, the witness of Yahweh Shah is the spirit of prophecy, man. So if you're not prophesying, ultimately you don't have the spirit of Yahweh Bashim Shah in you, man. Okay? We see that clearly with all these other Israelite groups who claim that they have the truth. Okay? They might have the very foundation, all right, but they're not prophesying, so they don't have the spirit of Yahweh Shai, man. Okay? All right.
2 Ezra 9, verse 3. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world.
Now, the funny thing about earthquakes is earthquakes cause many other events to happen on the earth. Okay? You got earthquakes, can cause tsunamis. Okay? They can cause sinkholes, mudslides, volcanic eruptions. Okay? So there's many other subdivisions of natural disasters that can happen with earthquakes, man. Okay?
Verse 4. Then thou shalt well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee.
So the Lord warned our people, our so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans from the beginning. Okay? Letting them know these are the things that's going to be happening before the Lord returns. Right? Okay? All right, so with knowing these things, you got to get yourself right. But we know only the elected of the nation of Israel are going to get right with the Lord. And 2/3 of them stay ignorant and die, man. Okay?
Continuing on, even from the beginning, verse 5. For like as all that is made in the world has a beginning and an end,
that's right,
and the end is manifest, even so the times also of the highest have plain beginnings and wonder and powerful works and endings and effect and signs.
And signs, man. So what? All these things that we're seeing in the earth going on right now, major storms, earthquakes, even down to what's called, you have those what's called the shootings that happen, right? Okay? All right? These things that happen in the earth are really the telltale sign that the Lord is returning, man. And this Edomite infrastructure is going down, okay? All right, because back in times before, in this place, America, it wasn't the thing that an Edomite man would be all fested up that he just go randomly, shoot some shit up unless he wanted to, But now it's come to a point where they're so downtrodden and they're feeling the curses, okay? That what? They're now going crazy about it, man. Okay? Showing you what time we're living in. We're living in a time of what? The kingdom of heaven being established on the earth, man. Okay? All right, and Satan's kingdom going down, which is ran by the Edomites, man. Okay? That's okay.
Yeah, this is the book of Sirach, chapter 41, and this is verse 5. It says, the children of sinners are abominable children, and they that are conversant in the dwelling of the ungodly.
Sure.
The inheritance of sinners' children shall perish, and their posterity shall have a perpetual reproach.
That's right. So that, what they thought to inherit, what their forefathers raped and robbed, okay, is going to come to naught for them, man. All right, you see the average Edomite male around 20 to 25 years old, his grandfather had no problem getting a woman, had no problem, working and paying the bills and stuff. And now they can't do the same. Having suicide rates at an all-time high, okay, shows you what they're going at a decline. Same thing will happen in Rome, man. Okay, the what they say, strong men make an easy life, okay, and then the easy life makes weak men, and weak men make a hard life. Okay, we're seeing that cycle going on in America, man. All right.
Yeah, they say that generation, what they call it, Generation Z.
Yep.
What's that from? I think it's around like 1997 to like 2003. I think like they can't even qualify physically or mentally for the military. I was going into like this. I gotta pull it up. It was this crazy fact, like, because they did this thing about the Space Force, how the Space Force chief commander wanted to basically have like lifestyle on the different actual people that enlist and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, they want that all to be inclusive within the services, but that reflects like if we have like you gotta be mighty to be
a warrior.
Yeah.
You can't have women in battle.
Feminine people in the actual on the battle line and such. They can't qualify.
The shows the military is weak, man.
Yeah.
Okay? You know, at the end of the day, it shows that the Lord is breaking down this man's kingdom, man.
Yeah.
All right, because when you have the military might of a nation to be strong, then you can tell that that's a masculine nation, man. Okay, you know. But now this nation has been effeminized, man. It's not a kingdom; it's a queendom, man. The woman is all set at the high, and the man is at the bottom, man. Okay.
Precept. And this is Ecclesiasticus chapter 41, verse 7. The children will complain of an ungodly father, because they shall be reproached for his sake. Woe be unto the ungodly men which have forsaken the law of the Most High, the heavenly of the Most High power. For if you increase, it shall be to your destruction. You know, obviously in the beginning, that referenced us Israelites, man. But now you can look at this devil, because hey, we was complaining of our ungodly father, like, damn, why we in this position? You know what I mean? Why we got to go through this? Well, now Esau is having that same mindset. You know, white supremacy is waning. You know, waning meaning is lessening and lessening over time.
That's right.
Because you think about what 50 to 60 years ago, Esau had all the power in the world.
That's right.
I was watching something sometime this week, and at the World War II happened, they came out with the FHA loans, and they were giving all these people loans, all these military men loans for houses, mainly Edomites.
Yeah.
Right, establishing them. Now these kids can't even buy a house now.
Yeah.
You know, no matter if they is good or not, and if their credit is too good, Biden's going to tax them. So they're complaining. They're complaining about an ungodly father. Why? Because they're really being reproached for their sake. All that white supremacy, now these kids got to live it, grow with it, and the first thing they say is, well, I ain't had nothing to do with it. I'm not benefiting from it. My people never owned slaves. But you're indirectly benefiting from what your forefathers has done.
That's right.
You got it.
And that's right, man. You know, now they're feeling the effects of their power being lost, man. Okay? You know, that same power that man had when he walked on the same sidewalk as Jake, and Jake would just cross the street or just step
off the curb.
Yeah, step off the curb.
Yeah.
Now Jake is bumping into Esau. Yo, what you know?
Punch him in the face.
You don't got that power no more.
No,
Man.
punch him in the face. And that's how Emmett Till got. Go ahead, brother. Oh yeah, I was just gonna say that's how Emmett Till got murdered.
Yeah.
All because of what the white woman said.
Yeah.
You know?
They had that power.
Yeah, that was power back then. Like that's when these Edomites talk about make America great again.
It's the book of 2nd Esdras 6 and 8. And it says, and he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, and Jacob and Esau were born of him. Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau. Verse 9, for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followed.
And you see that right now going on. You see that even Jake, that we know that they're 2/3 and stuff, but they still coming up on some type of, I would say, enlightenment of, hey man, forget this devil, man. You know, but the average Jake's like, man, forget this devil, man. We go do our own thing. You know, we don't need them. Okay, when times go fast, we're like, oh, I need to work for the, white man. I need to be under his company. But we're not in that mind frame. That's not just here. That's worldwide. You see it, man. Everybody's like, man, forget this devil, man. We should do our own thing, man.
Power declining, man. That's what happens when power starts to decline, man.
That's right.
You know, when wickedness, and now you see these devils, they're the bane of everybody's existence. You know, not just the Israelites. Everybody can't stand these people.
That's right. It's spirit though, because I was talking to like one of my uncles from the west coast of Africa. He's a Jake, man. Okay, all right, from Cote de l'Ivory, the Ivory Coast. And he was talking about because we was talking about together. He showed me the video. He said, "Yeah, man, America's losing power." So the average Jake is knowing this stuff, man. Yeah, he said America's losing power. He said, "Look, let me show you." He showed me the video of North Korea and South Korea holding hands and jumping over the borders together and hugging each other, man.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, once they do that, they don't need America no more because they'll be joined together and stuff.
Yeah.
I was like, damn. I'm over here acting surprised. You gotta be with your hand for real.
Yeah.
I'm like, nah, that's the Lord, man. Showing that the devil is going out of power. Nobody respects this man. This kingdom is going out of business, man.
It's a reason why they don't want to a reunited Korea.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's a whole nother power unto itself. So not only do you got the South Koreans who've been eating off America's tit forever and a day, establishing their military, they know everything about what they got going on. And then you want to try to put them together with North Korea, it's a wrap, man. Like who's going to ally with who? You know, so they don't want a united Korea. But these Koreans, they're looking like, look, it's about our benefit.
Yeah.
All these, you're starting to see these nations go into pockets of self, what is it called? Isolation.
Yeah.
That's how most of these countries got big, doing some type of form of isolation from the world.
You know, it's because they're doing business with China too, and that's all Moab.
Yeah, that's all Moab.
So Moab is like, man, stop. Hey, that's just a border, man. Come on,
Yeah.
man. We family.
Yeah.
This is the Lord
It's the
bringing
truth.
all these countries together to ultimately come at to be at odds with America, man.
Yeah.
You know, we're seeing these things happening, man.
Yep.
That was it.
You had something more? Oh, this is the book, Job chapter 18, and verse 5. And it says, yeah, the light of the wicked shall be put out, and the spark of his fire shall not shine.
That's right. So the Lord is putting out the fire of America, man. All right? Because at one point, I was talking to another Uber driver about this. You know, they was like, yeah, man, you see America kind of going downhill, and he was he looked like a Moabite. He said, yeah, I'm from the country. It's right above Korea, Mongolia. It's like right there. I was like, oh, okay, I know where that's at. He said, yeah, man, and I don't know, man. I'd rather go back home because it's dangerous here just like it's dangerous back home, so it's no difference. And so I was like, damn, man, for real? Yeah, America, I used to feel kind of safe here. I don't know about it. So, hey, the Lord is showing that this place is going out, man.
Yeah, that's in the precepts that they're going to go back to their own places, man.
That's right. Oh, yeah, that's
Yeah, he about to get it right now.
yeah, kind of Isaiah.
Yeah, they're going to go back to their own
These heathen are going to see that America is waxing worse, so they're just going to go back home.
Yeah.
Why stay here?
Yeah.
Okay? If you're in your right mind, because we're telling you this place is going to be nuked to all holy hell.
Yeah.
All right? So you better off going home, all right, and being somewhat safe until those men of the Lord Yahweh shall come down from them ships, man.
That's right.
You know?
Yep, we got it.
Isaiah 13, verse 14. And it shall be as a chased roe, and as a sheep that no man taketh up.
I mean, what? It's gonna be so bad out here. You know, a chase road, man. It's really like, you know, a deer. They hear a crackle of leaves, man. They gone, man. You know, so that's how these people are gonna be in these times, man. An ounce of, you know, they can hear a strange noise. Like, oh no, we gotta get up out of here, man.
Yeah.
You know. So,
And shall every man turn to his own people, and flee every one into his own land.
and then we're seeing that on a high level right now, man. Everybody's coming to their own people. I was just talking, like I said, I was talking to a cousin of mine, man, with a good conversation. I was telling him, man, how I hate Elam.
I don't like them either.
You know, because Elam is like, they got this proud
Yeah,
look about them.
Yeah, you ever go to their stores, man, they always got an attitude. I was at a Walmart Subway or whatever pretzel spot, and I asked the lady for a cinnamon pretzel, and then she got a whole attitude at me because she had to make a cinnamon pretzel, bro. Like, I'm like, bitch, like, make the fucking pretzel, man. Like, you own this thing. But this how they do, man. They look at you like you ain't even supposed to be up in there. I was up in the spot, the gas station yesterday, the Pakistan, you know, two little Jake kids was running in the store trying to buy something. He's yelling at them and shit. He's looking at them intently like they going to steal, you know?
You know, they say, hey, man, but it shows you, people are going back to their own people, but even you're seeing it in the spirit, though, mainly. It's because what? You see Jakes that look like the heathen cleave unto Jakes that actually got the royal look and stuff. Like, man, fuck them. I want to be with y'all. And you see, like, especially you're an Israelite, man.
Yeah, you can tell.
I see amongst the, for example, in California, amongst those so-called Cambodians, most of them are majority.
Oh, those are niggas.
Jakes, man.
Those a lot of them are niggas, man. Especially like them Samoans that's amongst them Tongans, them Cambodians. Those are all Jakes, man.
Yep.
And you can tell by their spirit, they're not acting.
Yeah.
You know, they're not just like, you know, it's on them.
Yeah.
It's in them. Not just on them, man.
And they use, like I say, spirits are, the spirits of these nations are going back to the people, man.
Yeah.
You know, no matter how they look like, man. And ultimately, it's going to happen for the elected nation of Israel, man.
Yeah.
You know, don't be surprised, you know, Because hey, you already got brothers that do resemble Esau, but hey, you gotta have Jake that come out that looking exactly like Bruce Lee and shit, man. So we're coming to that time where what the elect is gonna hear the word, no matter what they look like, they go cleave unto it, man. Okay, can brother get that in
I got a precept.
yeah.
Ezekiel 37 and 22.
Oh yeah.
Ezekiel 37 and Salakia. I'm sorry, Ezekiel 37 and 21. And say unto them, thus saith the Lord, power, behold, I will take the children of Israel from among the heathen, whither they be gone, and will gather them on every side and bring them into their own land.
That's right. You know, so wherever Israel is, all right, no matter what they look like, no matter what they look like, man, that spirit in that body is an Israelite, man. Okay, you gotta have Israelites. Which is prime example is like the brother over there in that was over there in the Philippines. You have them that they look like Moab and stuff. And so, but you hear them calling on Yahweh Bashina on side, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know,
Yeah, the
sitting
whole
out
church.
there on the roads with the microphone.
Yeah. They going hard too.
I'm like, damn, what
They
the
going hard.
You know, it's surreal. Like, oh snap, this is really happening. You
Yeah,
know,
Jake
you
waking
believe
up.
it's gonna happen, but like, dang, seeing it with your eyes is like a whole new level, man.
Yeah.
You know? So it's showing that what Israel's gonna come out of all these heathen nations, man. Okay, and they're gonna believe the spirit of the Israelites. Okay, are gonna cleave unto being Israelites, man. Okay, no matter what they look like.
Jeremiah 23 verse 3. And I will gather the remnant of my flock out of all the countries whither I have driven them.
I said out of all the countries, okay? In all these countries, there's an Israelite there, man, okay? Because the Lord spread us out, okay? So you're going to have them looking like Esau, have them looking like Moab, looking like Elam, okay? All right, but you can tell by their spirit, okay, that they're Israelite, man. But ultimately, you got to be given that gift to even see that, man. Because, you know, you got these other camps, man, that look at it, a so-called Korean. This man can break dance out. He's spinning on his head, man.
Yeah.
But they're like, oh no, he's a gook, man. You go and say, nah, bro, come on, bro. What gook you know is spinning on his head doing backflips, bro?
Killing it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
those jakes are how you say in this world they call them closed-minded. You know, they're not open into an understanding that Jake is gonna look like everybody.
Yeah, that's right.
So,
That's right.
I had a precept.
You can't deny them.
At the
You know,
end.
they come up and believe, hey, he believes on the all about you know God. We gonna deny the man now? Come on, man.
ISUPK will. They won't even let you come to the barbecue.
Yeah, we went, but we went and touched that a little bit last week about how that whole color, like black, white, and all that, that's like more of a recent adaptation of like identifying people. If you go
Yeah.
back to the ancient times, like you were identified by your tribe, but like there was a record on which tribe you were from. It never went by your looks. Like, oh yeah, you know.
Yeah.
Now we have a guide and saying, you know, the tribes generally look like this, but that's not infinite. That's not 100%, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
We don't really have the record. We go by faith.
Yeah.
But like back in the day, you had a record saying, yeah, I'm from the tribe of Ephraim, right? But you never went off. You didn't really go off looks back then, like you know.
Yeah, my
Yeah,
father is this father, you know, and his father is that.
Yep.
You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah, we don't have that record no more. Esau destroyed all that, man.
Yeah, he
They-
destroyed
he
all
says
that.
our record comes back from Africa. Our record goes back to Puerto Rico. Meanwhile, it goes way beyond that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, what they said. That was an issue with the Israelite foreigners in the New Testament.
Yeah.
They couldn't come back and be. They couldn't come back to the land and get what you call the gift of the Commonwealth.
Yeah, yeah.
Meaning you would get land. If you were Israelite, you would automatically get some land in your tribal area. But they didn't want to do that. So then a lot of the brothers or sisters or whatever the brothers that came out, they couldn't trace their lineage back further than Babylon or further than Mede or further than Persia, wherever they was at. They just knew they were Israelites. So they would come in to worship and they were like, nah, you got nothing to do with us over here because you can't trace your lineage. Who's your father?
Yep.
And now and at this point, we can't even do that.
Yeah.
You know, and that's how Esau tried to use that same thing. Well, who's your mother? You know, they go back to the matrilineal line.
yeah.
But the point of the matter is that they have documentation. That even the super elite do that. When they don't have birth certificates, they got a book who everybody name go into, and there's a documentary on YouTube. And Jacob Rothschild was looking at the book, and he said, "Hey, this is my such and such grandfather, or this is my such and such uncle," and that's all it was. They ain't had no birth certificate. You knew who you were by who your father was.
They even have some like old like painted pictures and
Yeah.
books. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, so they can trace their lineage. They know every Rothschild that exists on this earth. They have a strict record, and they got all that from Jake. All record keeping came from us. These nations wasn't really keeping records the way Jake kept records, man. So when you look at it from that standpoint, like the elder was saying about the racial concept or we call it color construct here in this world, that shit is a recent thing. You can go back to Joab and Blumenbach. You can go to other men who created these pseudo nationalities, black, white, African, this, that, and the third. Yeah, that's because those are general terms. If you say somebody from black, well, where's the nation of black? Where the black nation come from? Then they'll say Africa. But when you go to Africa, they'll say y'all don't belong here. Yeah. So here it is. Well, who are you? And well, our lineage goes back to Jake, back to Israel, Yasha Allah. I had a quick precept. This is Revelation 7 and 9. And after these I beheld, and lo, a great multitude which no man could number, of all nations and kindreds and people and tongues, stood before the throne and before the Lamb, clothed with white robes and palms in their hands. Now the Christians will take this precept and try to say, well, that's for all nations. All nations are going to be saying, no. Those people, because when you read up, it tells you about the 144,000, the 12,000 men, prophets from each of the 12 tribes of Israel, right? So then it tells you, well, who's behind them? This multitude of people you're going to have that come out of all these different nations. Why? Because Jake, these are Israelites who were scattered amongst these nations. And Jake can't understand that you wasn't just an Israelite in East India from ancient times and looking like us. No, you're going to look like the Elamites, man. That's right. Because over time, Jake started dealing with Elamites. They have children dealing with Elamites and so forth and so forth. So here it is. These mixed multitude are the people who you don't see. That's why the scripture says about the angels, they know exactly where each and every one of us are at. Right. Okay, they tell by the Spirit. You know, they didn't tell. The Lord said, "Judge not a man on his outer appearance." Man, you got it.
Yeah, Isaiah 11:11. Yeah, bring it up.
It's Isaiah chapter 11, verse 11. It says, and it shall come to pass in that day.
But actually, but read Isaiah 11. Isaiah 11:11 is the point, but read Isaiah 11:1. That kind of shows the lineage thing, right? Because it talks about there would be a root that come out of Jesse. Why would they even talk about that? Yeah. If there was a direct reason for that root shit, right? Like that root comes from the seed comes from the offspring, right? So 11:1.
Yep, it's Isaiah chapter 11:1. It says, "And there shall come forth a rod out of the stem of Jesse, and a branch shall grow out of his roots.
Yep.
And the spirit of the Lord Yahweh shall rest upon him."
That's right. Yep. So the lineage was from Jesse, right? Mm-hmm. And that was already tracked. It was already prophesied that was the lineage that was going to come from. And where who's Jesse's forefathers? Like go back, it goes all the way back to Yahshua, Israel, right? Mm-hmm. So. Yep.
Yeah, root is Yahweh shot.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Yep.
It says the spirit of wisdom and understanding, the spirit of counsel and might, the spirit of knowledge and of fear of Yahweh, and shall make him a quick understanding.
That's right.
In the fear of Yahweh, and he shall not judge after the sight of his eyes.
Damn, look at that.
It is. See, that was Esau. Yeah. We all be done. Because even Esau was killing his own people during the time of slavery, antebellum slavery. Yeah. He would have kids, and they would with Jake women. And they put them in slavery. They'll put them to death. They were catching hell, all because of what they looked like. You had the one drop rule. If you got a drop, so-called, not that they could tell back then, but if you had a drop of Negro blood, and then you were considered a nigga. You know what I'm saying? So here it is. This devil, he judges after the eyes. We don't do that. And that's what makes us even more spiritual, especially when it comes to these different Israelite organizations or groups. Hey, that we're judging through the spirit, man. You got it.
Look right here. Romans 8, verse 16. For the Spirit itself bear witness with our spirit. We are the children of the Heavenly Father.
Yeah, I just did a lesson on that this week. I showed videos of what was it one? Tina Marie.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I love Tina Marie, man.
Singer?
Yeah, she passed away.
You look at her, red hair. You think everybody's like, wait, because I was reading on comments on Twitter. Mm-hmm. People was like, the younger Jake don't know. They were like, what the hell? They say, yo, this is a white, they're thinking, oh shit, this is a white woman. I'm like, y'all don't even know, man. Same thing with Bobby Caldwell, he just passed away. They didn't show his face, and Jake was like, oh damn, yo, who's this? Oh, this is a brother singing. It is a brother singing.
It is. Just like it was a sister.
Got the face of, Edomite, man. The outward appearance, he looks like Edomite, man.
There's a lot of them singers, man. That they came out of an era of music called Blue-Eyed Soul. So these were Israelites that looked like Edomites, but they had soul. You could start with the group called the Righteous Brothers. You know what I'm saying? They looked like Edomites, and of course they could benefit. But you had Jakes that weren't famous. That we had something called passing. Israelites that looked like white men or white women, and they would pass to get the benefits of being a so-called white man.
Babe Ruth.
And,
Babe, it was a great example. Recently they just came out because I saw a video on TikTok. Somebody was going to the history of Babe Ruth and stuff. They was like, he was passing, but he was really singing.
There you go. So here it is. You got these Israelites that use hey, you know how a Jake gonna find a way. You know what I'm saying? Especially in a society where it blocks you off from being that. That's why a lot of these organizations like fraternities and sororities, in the beginning, they didn't accept dark-skinned people like us. You had to be a light-skinned Israelite, damn near white, to be accepted. So here it is. You got these different artists, going back to Blue-Eyed Soul, these different artists that come up. Their parents look like white people, and they end up being Jakes from the ancient world, from the past. But then, like Tina Marie, she was known as White Chocolate amongst her group of people. And even Smokey Robinson said she might have had a white appearance, but that was a black woman in a white woman's body. And it was. Even the men that she dealt with, they weren't Edomites.
They were Jakes.
She dealt with Jakes. She got pregnant by a Jake mailman. You know what I'm saying? Not Rick James, it was a mailman. You know what I'm saying? A random working class Jake. So, and her daughter, got that. But you also got tares amongst our people. Our women that will get with these Edomites, and they would still have semi-talent. A good example of that is Maya Rudolph, and her mother is somebody you ain't gotta look up. Her name is Minnie Rippleton, and she was a songstress, man. But she married an Edomite, and then she had her, and she's like, her daughter is not a quarter of as talented as she is. She got a little bit of it in her, but the point of the matter is, you had a lot of Jakes, and the reason why they didn't show their images on those album covers, because they felt like the black public wouldn't accept it. And Esau did it too. So you had Bobby Caldwell sitting on a bench with his back in the beginning with Tina Marie. They had to paint a picture where they would just blank it out. You got it, brother.
You got Edomite foreigners walking around here too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I be feeling like a lot of them niggas that's in the ghetto that cause Jake so much hell and trouble are Edomites, man. A lot of these niggas, you got wicked ass niggas. Real talk. You wonder why a nigga can't have a party? Because you got chocolate covered Edomites up in there. Don't want to see Jake having something, man. Yeah, you got Jakes out here. You got caramel colored Edomites running around here amongst our people, causing what? Confusion and strife.
Hey, look at Hillary from Fresh Prince, man.
Yeah, I think her kids are. I think she might be a tear.
Yeah, no, she is.
Yeah, Tia and Tamara.
Yeah.
That nigga, the nigga Herod the Great, not Antipas, his father, but Herod the Great. He was a tear.
Yeah, the thing too is our people are so convinced that skin means something. So when they see a quote unquote black person that they can relate to, meanwhile it's really Esau and their vain philosophies and their ability, basically it's still within them to do nothing but wickedness, right? So they have no righteousness within them, but they're up in the in these highest states, and our people look up to that. But that's really like an Edomite right there that you're looking up to, right? And then Jake's kind of convinced by that, just because they have dark skin, I gotta listen to it. No.
They said all this is the spirit because they still got the spirit of Edomite in it, man. Yep. And even Jake be like, Jake nowadays, because I've heard it, they'll ask them yo, is your mom black? Is your dad so-called black? They're like, my mom's like, my dad's like, he's like, that's something's off about.
You see why the niggas off?
Yo, that is mad spiritual too, because the same thing, like people ask me, a lot of times people are like, the only people that realize that I'm so-called Hispanic is other Ephraimites, right? Other Ephraimites will no rap the rip, I'm Hispanic, right? But Edomites always caught up a guard And so it was like Judah a lot. Judah talks like Dan, like wait, you're Spanish? I'm like, yeah, like from what? Your mother, your father? They asked me, oh, your mother, your father. Then why would that really matter? You know what I mean? Because there's a spirit behind it. I say my father. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like I always knew there's something different about you. I'm telling you, man. Like in Israel's subconscious, man, they know that there's a difference between Israel and the other nations, man. The scriptures talk about that, how the Most High put a difference between Israel and the Egyptians. That's Isaiah, what, the 4th chapter, right? Exodus, yeah. Someone get that. But like that's, I've gotten that all the damn time, man.
Get to be black this week.
Yeah. I know. You're Puerto Rican, but what are you? That's what some fucking Edomite said to me.
I had a precept real quick,
Go
bro.
ahead, slide.
And it's in St. Matthew chapter 13, verse, I'll start at 24. Another parable put he forth unto them, saying, the kingdom of heaven is likened unto a man which sowed good seed in his field. But while he slept, his enemy came and sowed tares among the wheat and went his way. And you gotta look at what happened during captivity and slavery. We would sleep as a people. We would sleep, and what ended up happening was Esau, he spread his seed amongst our people. Some people he let live and thrive. Others he killed off. But he sowed them tares amongst our people when we slept. And you look at the other nations, they did the same thing amongst us when we were in captivity or in their control. Okay, it says but when a blade, verse 25 again. But while men slept, his enemy came and sowed tares amongst the wheat and went his way. But when the blade was sprung up and brought forth fruit, then appeared the tares also. Now, when you look at tare and you look at wheat and it's when it's like growing, it look the same.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
But as it matures, the wheat, it starts to get lighter. But the wheat gets lighter, but the tare stays green. I think the tare stays green. It looks like it looks like it, but if you let them grow, the tares will end up choking out the wheat. So that's why when they spring it up, and then they also do something where they shake it like this, the wheat will
come down and
will fall down, and the tares will go
fly away.
Will go away, because it's like, oh, now we can tell the difference. And you can look it up on the internet, wheat and tare in an image, and you'll see it looks the same, but it's not. It says, but when verse 27, so the servants of the householder came and said unto him, Sir, didst not thou sow good seed in thy field, from whence then have it tares? He said unto them, an enemy have done this. The servants said unto him, wilt thou then go and gather them up? But he said, Nay, lest while ye gather up the tares, ye root up also the wheat with them.
Yeah,
and that's I'm sorry, you got it, buddy.
That's the spirit, because if we were in the spirit of ICPK and stuff, they're denying Israelites that are coming up that might look like Esau and stuff. You're denying them, you know? So if they were to take so-called actions in their own hands, they might go to a block where it looks like all Edomites. You could be killing Jake.
Yeah.
You know, you could be destroying Jake also, man.
Yeah,
that's up in there, man.
That's why we don't push that spirit of carnality.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That carnal ass spirit. You know, this ain't a black thing. This ain't just a Spanish thing. This ain't just a Native American thing. This is an Israelite thing, mainly of the elect.
That's right.
No, not mainly, is of the elect of Israel.
That's right.
So when you look at our people, like the brothers were saying, if you were a carnal nigga, you would just kill all these people, but you'd be killing Jake too.
That's right.
And then you think that you're doing the Lord a service, but you'll be doing it yourself a great disservice, because you're fighting against the Lord. Yeah. That's why it says right here, let both grow together. Verse 30, he said, let both grow together until the harvest. And in time of the harvest, I will say to the reapers, gather ye together first the tares and bind them in bundles to burn them.
Right.
But gather the wheat into my barn. And that we're gonna go into it. It says, in these things Yahushua said in verse 34, in these things Yahushua, in these things spake Yahushua unto the multitude in parables, and without a parable spake he unto them, that it might be fulfilled which was spoken by the prophet, saying, I will open my mouth in parables, I will utter things which have been kept secret from the foundation of the world. And Yahushua said took the multitude away, and went into the house. And his disciples came unto him, saying, declare unto us the parable of the tare in the field. He answered and said unto them, He that soweth good seed is the son of man, right? And that good seed are the brothers that take hold to this faith and that grow in this faith. You know, that's the good seed. You know, each and every last one of us, Lord, when we part of the elect, we were planted individually by Yahweh Shai, okay, to grow in the time of the harvest. It says, and he answered and said unto them, he that soweth good seed is the son of man. The field is the world. So we also understand that the field is this planet, the world that we're in. All right. It says,
But it proves that good seed can be planted anywhere.
Yep. Right. Yep. It says the good seed are the children of the kingdom, which we know that the children of the kingdom are the elect of Israel. But the tares are the children of the wicked.
That's right.
You got even not necessarily just you got Jake. You got tares amongst Jake, but you also got 2/3. Right. They're considered tares. Yeah. All right. Because guess what? They look like us, but they're not of us.
That's right.
You know, they look just like an Israelite. We all standing amongst these cats, and they were like, "Hey, pick an Israelite out." All of them. You know, and nah.
I'm gonna say that's because this thing is about the elect of the Most High.
Yep.
Because you have the elect, which is representative of the nation of Israel, but then you have the elect of the Most High. So there's an elect within the elect.
That's right.
Because the whole nation as a whole is the elect of the Most High, and been chosen by the Most High to be a people above all nations.
Yep.
But then out of that chosen line of people, the Lord chose a remnant specifically to salvation.
That's right.
It was all the spirit. Hey man, it said what? That was the tares, what? The wicked, man.
Yeah, the wicked.
You know, another thing about seed is that I can have an apple here, apple seed I planted here in Philadelphia. Then I go to Japan, take that same seed, but because of this type of soil that it's in, it comes out looking different. You know, the way it was nourished, it might be smaller. You know, I remember I saw what they said a Chinese apple. That shit was like that big and shit. You over here in America, the apple is about like
a tennis ball.
It's still an apple, man.
Yep.
You know, so that seed, no matter where it's planted, it's it's going to be a Jake, man. You know, and no matter where the Lord has planted his elect, they're going to come back to the faith, man. You know?
It says he answered and said the good seed. He answered and said, I'm sorry. He answered and said unto them, he that sowed the good seed is the son of man. The field is the world. The good seed are the children of the kingdom, but the tares are the children of the wicked one. And remember, Yahweh Shai told Jake, you are of your father, the devil. You know, so 2/3 of you Jakes out here doing what Esau wants you to do. You're Esau's wicked seed. It says the enemy that sowed them is the devil, Esau. The harvest, because Christians will say that was Satan. No. It's Esau, Edom. Okay, he got 2/3 of our people under great delusion, and thinking that that this world is for them, and that his benefits are for them. But ultimately, all of that's going to destroy Jake. The enemy that sowed them is the devil. The harvest is the end of the world, and the reapers are the angels. Remember, we were saying that the angels, they know exactly where each and every last one of the elect are. They know what they look like. They know who they are, and they're not judging them based on their color. They're not judging them based on their appearance, because it's their spirit, man. The spirit that's within them. That's why the brother brought out earlier, the spirit itself bear witness with our spirit that we are the what? Sons of the living God, man. You know, hey, even we grew up amongst our people. A lot of our people are fucking wicked. You know, you look at, I'm talking about your family members. Yeah. You know, but yet the Lord planted that remnant of Israelites amongst these people, and He said, let them grow, because that's another reason why our children catch hell in birth too, because Esau tried to get rid of you right there. You know, he want to stomp you out before you start to grow. He want to stomp the elect out, but you ain't gonna get the elect.
And that shows the power of Yahweh Shai, that we were born into the wickedness.
Yep.
And stuff. Like you said, the family members, people you growing up with. But the Lord was like, nah, this one's gonna he's gonna sprout differently. Yeah. The rest of them, they go sprout to be ultimately be thrown away. The degenerate plants and shit. And I think be cut down eventually. But this plant, it's gonna grow amongst them and become strong. Man.
And I think when it comes to wheat and tares, the wheat actually start to lean. It leans over, but the tear stays up like this. It stays up. Yeah, because wheat, it's the grains that grow on a plant, they're heavy. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I believe that if you look at it, I know it for a fact.
Yeah, no, because I've looked at wheat before. I know when the wheat grows up, the top of where you harvest everything,
starts leaning over. And it says, verse 41, the Son of Man shall send forth his angels, and they shall gather together out of the kingdom, out of his kingdom, all things that offend, and them which do iniquity. So the only ones that can do iniquity, first and foremost, is our people.
That's right.
So the Lord's going to get rid of them. He's going to get them up out of the way. Like Elder Apostle Hart said, he's not bringing all Jake out this time.
Yeah,
He's not taking us to the wilderness. We got to deal with 4 years of that shit. No. He can kill them niggas right here, and the elect is going to be saved through the chariots of Yahweh Shema Shah.
That's right.
And he shall cast them into a furnace of fire, which is the nuclear missiles,
right.
and there shall be wailing and gnashing of teeth.
This real quick for him with the seed. This is Isaiah chapter 10. Ecclesiasticus chapter 10 and 19. They that fear Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua are a sure seed.
Yep.
And they that love him are an honorable plant. And it's going to be the elect that's going to have that Yerah, that fear for Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. 2/3, like you say, they're going to be cut off. You know, because
we went to that last week though. It's like how the fear of the Lord is only going to be upon the elected nation of Israel. Because we go to Job 28:28. True wisdom is the fear of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. If you are wise in any increment, you will fear our power. Because you see all the stuff that can happen in this earth.
Oh man.
The Lord, orchestrates all these things.
I got the elder up here from DC.
I knew I was going to see him.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the book of Matthew 28, verse 19. It says, "Go ye therefore and teach all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit."
And see, Christians will get that misconstrued. They went to all
Spirit.
nations. But there's a reason why. We just read that the Lord scattered the nation of Israel, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans throughout the four corners of the earth.
Yep.
Another example, you have the Korean War. I mean, Jake's went over there to Korea and deal with
Dropping seed. That's
dropping seed like it's nothing.
yeah. That's
Philippines, Vietnam.
Yep.
yeah. That's why the white man cracked down on us having sex when we go to war now. When we go to war now, I've been there, so I know. Like back in the day, they would let us get something called, they let the Navy still do it. It's called shore leave, where they would get leave where you can go into the economy, buy things, meet women, party and shit. It really started during Vietnam where they started cracking down on that shit. Yeah. They made Esau would spread that racist rhetoric about Jake calling us niggas. Yeah. Here it is, the Vietnam's never even used that term or seen a Jake before, but they calling them niggas and shit. Why? Because Esau would spread that hatred so that our seed wouldn't flourish. Then we go to the Persian Gulf. You weren't even allowed to deal with them Arabs. They said, "Fuck it, we gonna fight somewhere where they can't get bitches. Let's put them in the air. Let's put them in the sandbox, and let's deal with them over there." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they spread the good stereotypes too. I don't know how Vietnamese found out about the loins of Jake.
Yeah.
But you had world renowned for that. So they spread that too.
Yeah.
And a lot of those Israelites during the time of 70 AD, they fled east too. They fled west into Africa, Europe, and they fled east. So you have a lot of Israelites that were already over there in Vietnam and Laos and Cambodia.
That's right.
A lot, like the brother mentioned earlier about the Cambodians, in East Coast, really everywhere, but I know in Philly, probably virtually all of them are Israelites.
Yeah.
Those Cambodians.
Well,
They act just like judo.
Yeah, it's this one chick. She I think she might be married to a physical looking Jake, but she's all over the Instagram and social media. Yeah, Mimi. That's a black bitch, man. That's a complete black woman. That's not. Yeah, she's a whole demon too. Yeah, she's a demon, but she's the worst of the black woman. You know, she shows you what a nigga woman would be if she looked like that. You know what I'm saying? Because she got. You got it.
Yeah, just to back up the brother's point, is a distinguishing factor of the Israelites being scattered throughout the world, and being likened unto the other nations, even in so much as their appearance, okay, and also their mannerisms, right? This is in their belief system, the custom, right? Deuteronomy 28:64 says, "And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people from the one end of the earth even unto the other. And there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone."
And you got that going on now. That's why even you got them jakes that's living in these countries that may not be woke up to the truth.
Right.
Guess what they're doing? They're worshiping Hare Krishna. They're Buddhists.
Oh, yeah.
They're Muslims.
Right.
They worship.
Like, no, slack, even like the so-called passport brothers.
Mm-hmm.
They thinking, okay, a better place to go is Japan. They're not even thinking about the land of Israel.
Yeah.
They're not attributing their heritage back to that land.
Nope.
That's how messed up everything is. You know? So even just that thought, they're pursuing to go to a better place, another alternative, but they're not even looking towards the Holy Land, which is what's attributed to us, which was promised to us. And it's no wonder, it's defiled, right? The people over there, they claim to be the people, they're not the people. But it's supposed to show you their mindset, their spirit is off as a result of the curse. You know, going back to y'all brothers' points about who's going to receive the truth as opposed to the rest of the nation. This thing again is about the Lord's hopeful elect, the elected nation. There's a couple points to be made there, but I'm saying.
He's just saying that Jacob's gonna come and looking at all forms, according to all forms.
And then the different beliefs is what's motivating them to do this. But they're not looking onto the truth, which
Right.
we're the ones beckoning the hand, telling them to return.
Yeah.
Right.
You know? But remember that element of faith has got to be there.
Yeah.
Because we give it a sense. With that element of faith, they're not going to attain it. They're not going to believe it, to change their ways,
Yeah.
their behaviors. You come back onto how much
Right. When you talking about the tares and the wheat, because when you mentioned earlier, when they first start, they look the same, but as they grow up, then they start to look different. So you can say that that's an analogy for the faith. With the group, it says about being drawn by the word. So when we were in our infancy, we were all together, you know. But then as we start to grow up, like mentally, spiritually, then we started to see a separation. Then the elect started being drawn by the word, and the Edomites and the other nations that were mingled among Jake, we started to be like a separation. Like you got amongst
in
Judah,
2/3 too.
amongst Ephraim,
Yep.
amongst Gad and Issachar, you got tares amongst the tribes. So when we grow up in our spiritual maturity, we start to understand the precepts of the Bible, the law, prophecies, then a separation comes in. Because the Edomites and the tares that are amongst the wheat, but the point is the Lord said he's going to gather the wheat to the barn, and gather a good rest into the barn. So if he said he's gathering the wheat, and he's not gathering cilantro, he's concerned about the wheat, not the cilantro.
Yeah.
Because the tares have a purpose.
Yeah.
That's an actual herb that you can use, but that's not the herb that the Lord's going to gather. When you look at the wheat, tares and wheat stuff, they're both useful for something, but wheat is going to be gathered, not the tare. That's an herb that the Lord created. So you have the nations that the Lord created that who are not going to be saved. Just because they're the Lord's creation don't mean they're going to be delivered.
That's right. I had a definition for wheat and tares right here. Right. It says
Different kinds of wheats, different kinds of tares.
It's
just a different herb.
Yep, it's right here too. It says tares are weeds that resemble wheat. In the parable, a wheat field had deliberately been polluted by an enemy who sowed the seed of the weeds intermixed with the wheat.
Yeah, because you're supposed to get what you pay for. Just because it's an herb, that doesn't mean that it's necessarily good.
Yes,
you know, or it's for the proper use of what you need it for.
Yeah.
You know, because you can take an herb that got nothing to do with your sickness. So.
Yeah.
So, and the analogy for salvation, the Lord's not dealing with that particular herb, that
Yeah.
particular group of people or peoples.
Yep.
So, made to your point, when you look up tares, I was looking at the brothers on the video. When you look up tares, it's toxic.
Yeah.
When it comes to wheat, tares, it's toxic.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, spiritually, it's talking about the other nations anyway. You know, the other nations. All right. Go ahead, bro.
It says tares are weeds that resemble wheat in a parable. A wheat field had deliberately been polluted by an enemy who sowed the seeds of the weeds intermixed with the wheat. Only after the plants are partly grown did the problem become apparent. The landowner's servant asked if they should go in and pull the tares. but I was trying to look up what exactly is a tear. So it says a tear. It says, what is a tear? The tear. It's these Christians try to break it down, but I was trying to find out what tears are versus wheat. But I wanted to show this image anyway. This image right here. It shows wheat and tears. I'm trying to get this thing.
Yeah, precept that.
You got it.
All right. Just to kind of back up what the brother's saying, because like this all kind of goes into it. So this is 2 Corinthians 5 and I'm gonna start at verse 9. Wherefore we labor that we that whether present or absent we may be accepted of him. For we must all appear before the judgment seat of Hamashiach, that everyone may receive the things done in his body, according that he had done, whether it be good or bad. And the point I'm trying to make there is like with the wheat and the tares, they're at the same playing field essentially when they're first growing or building. But what separates them is the fruit in which they yield, right? The wheat actually yields something where the tare is useless, right? It needs to be condemned and thrown in the fire, like it says. So at the end of it, you're going to be judged whether you did good or bad, right? So you're going to be judged by the works of which you do. The scriptures also talk about how a man is known by like the fruit in which he bringeth forth, right? So like that's what it's all about. It's like bringing forth fruit, right? Worthy of repentance, and that's how we're ultimately going to be judged, right? We're not, basically tares or things that are worthless, which is going to eventually be shown when at the end of this thing, when everything's grown and everything's at its full harvest, and when that reaper comes to harvest the field, they're going to see who was doing good and who was doing evil, right? Whether they're Jake or whether they're just naturally the heathen just naturally can't do good, they're going to get tore up, and
Right,
thrown in the
what's
fire.
an example of what the brother's saying? Prophecy. We're going into prophecy.
Yep.
So right there, that sets apart everybody else. And if they go into prophecy, what's their understanding? They're breaking it down correctly, or they're rightly dividing the word of truth.
They can't go into it.
Right, because as it is written, the Lord, right, He revealed His secrets unto His servants, the prophets. It's very particular.
Yeah, well, we're about to read the law. Read the law, 19:19.
Leviticus 19, verse 19. They shall keep my statutes. Thou shalt not let thy cattle gender with a diverse kind. Thou shalt not sow thy field with mingled seed. Neither shall a garment mingled of linen and woolen come upon thee.
Yeah, mingled seed, because you want a particular plant or herb to grow all in one area. So if you put other stuff in there, it's going to take the nutrients from the rest of the stuff. You can say that like with the certain benefits that they get. Yeah, Edomites can come and get same benefits.
Yeah.
Like the benefits, like for say marginalized people, are supposed to be for so-called like blacks and Latinos, but you got Edomite women that take that same benefit.
Yeah, I work for a guy in Hawaii, and this guy he looks like he's white, right? His name is JD. Hold on, Destination Dance Hawaii. His name is JD, right? And when you see this dude, you're gonna be like, what? Here he is right here. This cat right here named JD. This the guy right here. His name is JD. That's right.
Oh, yeah.
His name is JD. He looked like a white dude, right? He's gay, and that's his husband. So I don't want to work for the dude. I gotta clean up shit.
He said that shit right as that bullshit.
Yeah, but the point of the matter is that his business is categorized as a black-owned business in Hawaii. He's considered, because according to 23andMe, they say that this dude's like a whole bunch of like 43%, 48% West African. So now his business,
like a black-owned business. Man. It's all the spirit, man. It's all the spirit.
His business is considered black-owned business, even though like he may or may not be a G. He's pretty cool. I don't have no problem with him, but he just sexually is a sodomite. But outside of that, like he's real cool. Like he easy to deal with, but he gets both sides of the benefits. Like the elder was saying, those benefits that were set up for marginalized people. There's not a lot of black businesses in Hawaii. So let's say like if this brother wanted to go to Hawaii and set up a business, he may not even get those benefits because it's already taken by somebody who claims to be one of our people. And he could be a Tear. He could be a Jake. But the point of the matter is that the people that really need it can't get those benefits. That's why I like reparations. People making a big deal about reparations. Don't you know if reparations came down, the first people be in line would be Esau. Hey, I got my great. He don't even look like a Jake. Don't even act like a Jake or nothing. But he go get it. Just that's what happened with Gad and what you call the $5 Indian. All I had to do was pay $5, and I was considered an Indian. Then I get those benefits that were granted for Jakes, man.
If you ever notice too, you got tares that are. That's why it's all about the spirit and not about the outer appearance. Because you have so-called activists that are so-called black, but they really Esau, man.
Mm-hmm.
They're really Edomites and stuff.
Yeah.
So you got people following after, a motherfucker that look like a Jake, but he's really Esau. It's like, well, yeah, I'm for black people.
Yeah.
It's the same thing that was going on in the ancient world. You following Herod, he's an Edomite.
Yeah.
Stuff. Herod's our king, man. He's married to my cousin.
Yeah.
He one of us. Simple Jake is and shit and stuff, but that's the same thing happening now. People are following after these tares also, man.
Yeah, well, like the elder was saying, like those when they grow up, their spirits start to separate them, the shit that they do, and that's what happened with Herod, and his children. They might have looked like Jake outwardly, but you could tell their spirit was off. Yeah. Like the shit that they was doing, they didn't have no qualm about breaking the Lord's laws, statutes, and commandments. Yeah. He didn't have a problem committing adultery. Why? Because that's in the Edomite to do that kind of shit. That's in the heathen to do that. But the spirit had it where John the Baptist, he exposed them. And because he exposed them, that woman, she got offended, and then now she got his head cut off. It's all in the spirit because it was supposed to happen. But the point of the matter is that these devils, that's what they do amongst our people. And they're amongst our people and they cause havoc. And they're not going to say a biracial person did this. They're going to say a black man did this, or a Latino man did that, or a Native American man did this. So what's going to end up happening? These people are going to get the full brunt of Esau's wrath. All because you had some tear sneaking in and do that. And you had like W.E.B. Du Bois. He was a tear. You know what I'm saying? And he grew up, Frederick Douglass, another tear. He grew up amongst our people. Yeah, that nigga's dad was a slave master. You know what I mean? He might have looked like a Jake as he got older, but when he was young, he was high yellow, man. And in those pictures that they show, they don't do him a service, but the point of the matter is that here it is, he was all for, he claims to be for the rights of our people, but he was really for Esau. You know what I'm saying? So,
and on Pan-Africans, they all accept the one drop rule thing.
Yeah.
Like dude from Philly, Umar Johnson.
Umar.
He'll go with the even if your father's an Edomite, you still basically a so-called black man.
Yeah.
And he represents all dark-skinned people from Africa.
Yeah.
That's what the Pan-Africans are all in that spirit. They don't understand about there's separation.
Yeah.
Even though our people are scattered, there is separation between Israel and Ham.
Yeah. Can you get the precept where it says I will put a separation between the Egyptian, Ethiopian? Was it Ethiopian? No, the Egyptian, right?
Yeah.
Salakia, brother. I'm just.
Exodus chapter 11 and 7. It says, but against any of the children of Israel shall not a dog move his tongue against man or beast, that ye may know that Yahweh doth put difference between the Egyptians and Israel.
Oh, you got it, Elder?
Yeah.
Yeah, because at that time, all the hell and chaos that was going on in the land of Egypt, even the dog didn't even bark at Israelites. The Lord put a spirit on the dogs that when they saw Israelites, they didn't even bark at them. Just to show you the separation between the Lord's chosen. And in the spirit, I wanted to get, what's that scripture? A man's foes are there of his own household.
I got it.
Because even though that's talking about actual Israelites, spiritually, that's even talking about what the brothers are talking about too. You may have tares, people that look like you, but you won't know who they are until the end. What can we gather from that? It's the same thing as our people not having the truth, right? And at the end of the day, it's about the elect. Let me get this one scripture before you get that. This is Mark 13 and verse 27. And then shall he send his angels and shall gather together his elect from the four winds, all right? The four winds of the four directions, north, east, south, and west, all over the globe, all right? It says, from the utmost part or the uttermost part of the earth to the uttermost part of heaven. So at the end of the day, it's about the Lord's elect, all right? That's why it's important when the brothers teach this word for what our people to get it, the elect of our people to get this word. All right, because if they don't, they're like it unto the heathen. And what? The heathen are going to be destroyed. That's right.
Yeah.
All right. You got something more?
Matthew 10 and 36. A man's foes. I'll start at 34. Say Matthew 10 and 34. Think not that I am come to send peace on earth. I come not to send peace, but a sword. For I am come to set a man at variance against his father, and the daughter against the mother, and the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law.
Now how does he set a man at variance against his own family? By something he believes in, the truth. All right. It's a reason why a lot of our family is against us. Okay, it's because what we believe in. All right. Same thing with the other nations. All right. They naturally are different from us from what we believe in. Yeah. As well. All right. Go ahead, bro.
It says, a man's foes shall be they of his own household.
Yeah, man's enemies are they of his own household. Why? Because they don't believe on Yahweh Shemawashai. Case in point, the heathen themselves don't believe on Yahweh Shemawashai because it wasn't given to them. So at the end of the day, it's about what? The elect. All right, even our people, when it comes down to it, they're going to die if they don't have this word. Right.
Yeah.
So they're likened unto the heathen.
Yeah.
Right?
It says in the NLT, your enemies will be right in your own household. Man. And you see that. It's going to come a time where family members going to be ratting out the Israelites, man. That's why it's good not to be around your people like that. You know, I know Jake got, for the exception of your immediate family, meaning your wife and your children, you don't need to be around your mom and pop, your brother, your sister, your cousins. You don't need to be around them because really they're not even your family. Your family are those that's doing the work of Yahweh Shema Shai, first and foremost. And secondly, hey, they start offering rewards up. You know, it's a wrap. 10,000 for my head. Hey, niggas gonna be like, yo, you know, they're gonna be hitting you up, calling you on a three-way with the feds. You know, asking what you doing, where you at, that kind of stuff, man. And also too, you wanna separate yourself from these people too because they're not on the same spirit that you on, man. So when you walk into a place with these people and deal with these people, man, it's gonna be confrontation, man. People they automatically gonna start flipping out on you, man. And you be like, sometimes you might wonder why they acting like this towards me. I'm just here to eat, just like you, nigga. You know, but it's the sad part about it is because a man's foes shall be they of his own household, man.
I was going to make just some basic examples of how you see that. The brother giving basically what it's going to evolve to eventually. But let's just start at a basic level. When you first come into the faith, you start changing your behavior. Oh yeah. A lot of us, not all of us, but a lot of us may have still been at the time living with our parents. Right? You start learning about the dietary law. Hey, things are supposed to be. Y'all prepare to eat, and you see it's some pork or something like that. You say, oh, I can't eat that. Just that one thing alone. Anybody else in that house that eat that, you're gonna have their eyes on you, looking at you like there's something wrong with you. Mm-hmm. Because behaviorally and habitually, they're accustomed to already eating.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what you say. Don't matter that it's in the scriptures. They might claim to be believers, or it doesn't matter. It's set in their ways. More often than not, they're set in their ways. Like the brother said, it causes contention. In so much that they are going to sell us out. Because even at family gatherings, y'all might be together, whatever, everything's cool, and those same people, right, will be saying, giving up personal information. Oh, he ain't going to eat that. He don't eat pork no more.
Oh, they do that all the time.
Right? Like you don't have to say all that. Why you got to say all that?
But if you're a Muslim, nobody have a problem with it.
Niggas, because you still the world.
Yeah,
so I just wanted to use some basic examples because you start changing your behavior and it's very noticeable. Those changes are very noticeable. Let's talk about how they realize that you don't go to the same excess and variety. Right, something to that effect is in the scriptures. Right? So that change affects the environment of the house, the atmosphere of the house, your relationship with those people, which is why you have to inevitably love them from a distance. Okay? As the scriptures say, be unequally yoked with the unbelievers. You know? But they're safe and yours. You know? Real talk. Because a lot of times all it's going to lead into is conflict. Right? And that's the truth, really. Because you defending right versus right, what the right thing is versus what the wrong thing is. And that spirit will always come out, no matter how much you try to contain. Because if you're really about this thing, there's really no containing that spirit. You can't up until a point, But somebody gonna say something that's gonna rub you the wrong way. You're either gonna have to leave, or you're gonna say something that's gonna blow the whole thing out of you know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying.
Yeah, when you're young, you think like being around your family is important. It's not. That's something
Okay.
that when you're young, you think that's, you know, necessary. You know, when you get older, you start to not give a shit.
Right. And, you know,
For real, man. These niggas give you a headache, man. Family member, my girl used to have a saying in the world, your family bring you down quicker than God get the news, man. And a lot of times it feel that way sometimes. They're like, damn. You know? And then as you grow and as you mature in his spirit, like start to gravitate to like, man.
yeah.
You know what I mean? You want to be around brothers more. You want to be around men that think like you and understand what you understand more. You know,
and
and
you're
they
busy working too.
Yeah, that
Like,
too.
take care of your own business.
Yep.
Your family ain't got nothing to do with your business. So once you become more mature and professional, you're gonna be dealing with your own issues, your own life. So the family, parents, and cousins gonna become less important.
Like you said, another thing that was thinking of when you brought up that point of the family, the foes of being your family, because the foes are enemies. It's come to a point now, especially with the weekend terrorists, that you have, for example, you might have a sister. She gets married to a perceived so-called black man. The whole time he's an Edomite. And you wonder why, like, yo, his children is a little off. Like his household, that household is off. And it's because he's an Edomite, man. The whole time, man.
Spirit.
You know, so you go to family gatherings and shit. This nigga's doing, you know, little weird shit that you know, yo, something's off about that nigga, man. The whole time he's an Edomite, man. And that was happening that's been happening amongst our people forever, man.
And you see that amongst Jake that have like so-called Edomite wives, but they might have had a Edomite child before the Jake child came, and you can tell right then and there, them spirits they're warring with each other in that house, man.
That's right.
You know, sometimes they'll get together and shit. They try to act all nice. Like I be seeing these Jakes get adopted by whole Edomite families and shit. I'm like, man, that little nigga probably catching hell in that household, man. Lord knows what he got to witness every day, man. You know, it be like that, man. That's why you ain't supposed to be doing all that mixing and mingling like that, man. Like now, you can deal with the white woman. I ain't saying you can't deal with the white woman. I'm saying that, like, you know, you want to. I'm sorry, laughing. I was just thinking to myself, like, yo, like it's just crazy because, like, when you see these kids growing up and you see the constant friction, you're like, why they can't get along? What's going on? It's because of the spirits. You know, a lot of people don't give credence to the spirit as much as they give to the flesh. I had a precept. If nobody else had anything, this is 1 Peter 4:1. For as much then as Hamashiach have suffered for us in the flesh, arm yourselves likewise in the same mind. For he that have suffered in the flesh have ceased from sin, that he no longer should live the rest of his time in the flesh to the lust of men, but to the will of the Heavenly Father. And you see that. I'm sorry, go ahead, brother.
Because I even thought about even Lloyd Yahweh had separate from certain family members, man.
Yep.
You know? You had two brothers that was with him, but then the other siblings, niggas.
Yeah, niggas.
Everything niggas, man.
Yeah.
You know? The ones is like, man, oh, he think he's something special.
Yeah, because like you say, the prophet's not a prophet save in his own city or own town or amongst his own kin. And I say that all the time. My people don't look at me like I'm a prophet. I'm hoping and praying that I am and endure to the end, but they don't understand that they don't reverence the prophets like they did once in the ancient world. Your family members ain't gonna, like Howard Shai went through that. His brother probably said, nigga, I grew up with you, man. We used to kick shit, you know what I'm saying? We was playing and shit. You probably peed on yourself, some weirdo shit. And they won't respect it, they don't see you as a man of the Lord.
That's right.
Even though he was doing all these miracles, they didn't accept him as a man of the Lord. Because it wasn't for them to accept him as a man of the Lord.
And a lot of that's because of ignorance too, because they might not even see you teach.
Right.
They saw you teach, you know, they change their opinion. They might not accept you, but they'll at least know that you're serious and you're professional.
That's right.
A lot of our family members don't actually observe us to actually come to a legitimate conclusion like that.
Right.
That's if you don't watch, like the scripture says, that you learn by hearing the word. They don't even take the time to listen.
Yeah.
To actually draw a legitimate conclusion of whether we meant it in the Lord or not.
Yep.
They just say, you know, because if they're afraid if they do, they might get condemned by what we say.
Yeah.
So they stay away from it, don't even watch.
Yeah.
That's the main part. And most people don't do research.
It says again, it says, likewise with the same mind, for he that have suffered in the flesh have ceased from sin, that he no longer should live the rest of his time in the flesh to the lust of men. And that's what we're doing. We're the rest of the time we got on this planet, while we in this faith and in this truth, we're trying to live for Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. We're not living to the flesh, to those lusts. But those people around us, they're doing that. They're to the max with that shit. So it says again, that he no longer should live the rest of his time in the flesh to the lust of men, but to the will of the Most High. For the time past, for the time past of our life may suffice us to have wrought the will of the Gentiles, when we walk in lasciviousness, lust, excess of wine, reviling, banqueting, and abominable idolatries, wherein they think it strange that ye run not with them to the same excess of riot, speaking evil of you. And that's what they do. Oh, nigga, you ain't going with us, drink like that no more. You ain't going to the club. You ain't eat. Yo, my stepdad said, I said, I don't eat pork. He said, what? You grew up on it? Like, wait a minute, bro. Like, nah. You know what I'm saying?
Well, they ignorance of different diets. People have different diets.
Right.
You know? Ain't just pork.
Right.
So, I mean, that's just the normie bias. Right?
Yeah.
It's normal. You gotta be mentally mature. You know, it's kind of late in the day to just eating like regular slave food and shit.
Yeah.
They got keto diets. They got paleo diets. Vegetarians. You know. If you said he's a vegetarian, he'd probably be alright with that, or he may not be.
Yeah.
Jake is simple as hell, man.
But you got to.
No, that's why the scripture says how long he simple was when he loves simplicity.
Yep.
Plain and simple, like the brother said, they're simple, they're foolish.
Yep.
The scripture also said, when I became a man, I put away childish things.
Yeah.
That whole being in the mode of being ignorant, being comfortable with it, that's childish.
Yeah.
I had a nigga years ago, when we were looking on the back of ingredients and stuff like that, the nigga on my job was like, man, that's just eat.
Nigga just eat.
Always looking at ingredients, that's white people shit, man. We just ate. That's being in a fucking ignorant state of mind.
Yeah, that's a nigga for you, bro.
I grew up on baked beans and hot dogs.
Yeah.
The ballpark upgraded from the chicken, pork, and beef mix to like the ballpark with 100% beef. You know.
Yeah.
So you had then it was a shoot when you got the bun instead of just the white bread. The king, remember the king?
I remember king
white
bread. Yeah.
And then you had the small.
Yeah.
Baked beans with the pork out. I used to pick the pork out.
He used to dip the bread in there and shit.
I used to upgrade. Then I upgraded to the bushes.
Yeah.
Where it was seasoned in cinnamon, I think.
Yeah.
Cinnamon or brown sugar or whatever.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I thought I was doing something by not eating the regular traditional Save-A-Lot baked beans with the pork in it. You know, so I just eat the hot dogs, the baked beans, free from pork, and it was seasoned with the brown sugar and the cinnamon and all that. You know, oodles and noodles, the cup of noodles, peanut butter and jelly. When I was like 5 to 9, Uncle gave me syrup sandwiches and shit. I don't know if you know about that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Just horrible shit. Pork chops, white rice.
Yeah.
That's prison food.
Yeah.
That's just straight up prison food, man.
Yeah, frying bologna sandwiches on the grill.
Yeah.
With the butter on there, fried with cheese and bologna. Do that. There's the shit that just fuck you up. And then the Save-A-Lot, we used to come back from Save-A-Lot with like 20 bags of food from Save-A-Lot. It's all fucking garbage.
Yeah.
You know? The head of lettuce, you always never had the leafy lettuce. You always used to get the head of lettuce, the GMO the iceberg lettuce. Come home with that, you know? GMO tomatoes.
The scripture said we're gonna eat poison and live.
Yeah, so I mean, yeah, we grew up on that stuff, you know. The macaroni and cheese, the powdered kind.
Oh yeah, that Kraft shit.
Or add milk.
Yeah.
You know.
The hamburger in there, yeah.
Just that.
I fucking hate that shit, man. My people was like,
separate milk.
my people was like, yo.
That's the perfect.
Yeah, my people was like this week. They was like, they was to get some rice and roni. I was like, rice and roni? I don't know fucking rice and roni, man. You crazy, man.
Yeah, I just wanted to make a
My
comment.
daughter tripping.
That was sharing testimonies, and giving prime examples of these things. But it got me thinking of the situation when I was at the grocery store with my woman. We seen a black woman, and she was doing her grocery shopping. We were all in the fish section. when we're looking at the different fish, and we're specifically looking for the wild caught, right? Instead of the farm raised or the things that try to be slick and guise itself as if it's wild caught because of the images or whatever the advertising. And so we're looking at it, and she was curious. She's like, "What are y'all looking at that package for like that?" I said, "Well, we trying to go for the better of the two options, you know, because you got this and that." He said, "No, I ain't worried about all that. All I see is the price." But now that's weaponized because a lot of our people are subject to shopping with what's in their budget. Now, isn't it something how they make the most worst foods cheapest and the better foods the most expensive? Right? The good produce and everything like that is through the roof. The better meats, the grass-fed beef and all that is through the roof. The garbage, buying that cheap. And so they're looking at the affordability. You know?
Fast food.
And like the brother mentioned about
They normally buy it.
sure, okay, when you grow, you're not supposed to just look at one thing or the other, right? You're supposed to be looking at what the right thing is and then make a decision based on that, you know? So, and Esau knows that. Esau knows you put something in the fucking middle of the store with display and then smack dab in the center of the display is low price of whatever it is, they're going to basically buy it.
They
I
said,
talked to a doctor before, and they was telling me,
And that's control. That's by design. Because Esau is trying to poison us with these cheaper produced foods, these chemicals, the GMOs, and everything like that. They don't want you buying the better food or the better of the two options. Because if you're going to buy the better of the two options, you might be healthy. If you're healthier, you're able to think critically. You have a higher cognitive function with your mind being calcified by garbage.
that's why the hood the way it is. Even Apostle Star said that a couple weeks ago at
They stuck in one area.
last week. He
Yeah,
said,
because if I never got a car and went to trade school out in Bucks County in 2006, 2007, I'd probably still be, if I'm of the elect, I would have eventually got out. I'll probably still be stuck in the north side of Philly up there if I didn't visit the counties, and drive around and see other stuff, Because what Jake got is it's a term called recency bias. There's a lot of different terms, it's just one of them, thousands. Recency bias. Which means recency bias is a tendency to overemphasize the importance of recent experiences or latest information we pose when estimating future events. Which that can be helpful, but you can be biased too, because they'll say, like the brother said, that since everything seems to be working right now, that the same thing's going to happen later. But that's not going to be a fact. Because it's working now, in the future it's not going to work no more. Like your health. You keep eating the same food over and over and over, and eventually your health going to decline. It don't mean because you're eating the same pork and shrimp and lobster and macaroni and cheese, the powdered bag shit, you're constantly eating that shit, it's going to, you're still going to continue to be in good health. Eventually you are going to get sick. Develop type 1, type 2 diabetes.
There was this one dude, I can't remember his fucking name, but he basically said, like, when we live in a society where pharmaceutical companies can benefit off of
Getting sick.
what's that? Yeah, getting sick or events or certain politicians and the military can be benefits, make benefits off of the war being implemented and just different things like that. Like, why wouldn't there be these these situations that are just by design? If there's money to be made, like they said, the pharmaceutical companies, when this bid happened, Pfizer and all these guys made millions of dollars. So it wasn't about money, but billions of dollars. Yeah, excuse me, billions of dollars. So there's a benefit from these events taking place, and that's just not pharmaceutical companies. That's like, think about it from the health standpoint. There's medically, they can make money off of your decline of health. So why wouldn't they put a situation where your health is at, where you have to go to the doctors and rely on their drugs and their administration of issues?
Well, since you said that, America's GDP and gross domestic product, a large percentage of that comes from the medical industry. It's worth trillions of dollars.
Yep.
And they attribute that as something positive. And they look at the GDP, and they look at the numbers, and they're looking back. Oh, well, that rate did trillions of dollars. Except for the fact that when you analyze, well, how did they make that money? Well, they made that money off of sick people.
Yep.
Because without that money coming in to those hospitals, you can't measure those numbers. So you have to have an influx and a constant persistence of sick people coming in our hospital for treatments, chemo, whatever therapies, or You know, and this is why, like, the different medications, okay, that they pass as medication. Because the word medicine actually literally means the art of healing. You don't get healed. You don't become whole, right? Whatever you're dealing with, they just, what's the word? Mask the symptoms.
Yeah, let's put a Band-Aid.
They mask the symptoms, right? And so just to back the brother up, when you look at America's GDP and gross domestic product, and you measure those numbers when they talk about economics and how the economy is doing good, one of that is factored in for trillions of dollars. But you have to consider how that money is made. It's made off of sick people and the continuation of sick people.
Yeah.
Well, that's the.
Yeah, all these major corporations and factions, like even energy, right? The energy companies, they make money off of an energy crisis. So why wouldn't there be an energy crisis if they know, these high corporations know that I can make more bang for my buck if I have an energy crisis? So you know, it's like it says all by design. This ain't some conspiracy. It's just, you know, it'd be too coincidental that all these companies are making millions and trillions of dollars on these so-called crises that are happening. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's their Psalms 83.
Yep.
Yeah,
Keep them from being a nation. Because when you look at it, they already got all the money already.
Yep.
So what are they doing? They try to continue to be sick, like the brother was saying. They want you to be sick, and they want to take your money. Right. Because the scripture talks about money as a defense.
Yep.
So
Slaki.
Yep.
No, Slaki, that's a good point. And there's a reason for that. There's a reason why they want to keep sucking you dry of all your money. They don't want to kill you. They want to keep you in monetary slavery. Because if you're, especially Jake, if they're in monetary slavery, they have no defense. We can't possibly come up as a nation when we have no money being a major defense, especially not having the Most High. But Esau knows that we got to take away Jake's defense. That's why when you had that Black Wall Street and they were kind of getting themselves financially stable, Esau came and tore that shit down. But that's another means of slavery, right? Financially. But so go ahead.
No. Then it goes into what brothers were saying. Then it goes to Dan. I gotta get certain food for my family.
Yeah.
So I can't really afford all the good stuff. I gotta afford this, the bad stuff.
It's gotta last.
They got a word called demographics. Brothers don't know what that means. All right. It's the study of where people are located. All right. They know who's in this area, who's in this county, who's in that county. They already got it by design.
They do yearly censuses.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, why the fuck are pork chops always the cheapest damn meat you can find? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I just want to say one more thing, brothers. And this is Esau's God complex. Making you sick is his attempt to try to control life and death. Lay the Most High. Okay? Right down to his technology. Because remember, he's terming that as miracles. You want to live longer? We're going to put a seed hip in you. You want your vision corrected? We're going to put this retina seed hip in you. Right? You want the ability to do things with your mind? You get this brain seed hip in you. Right? It's all Esau trying to be like the Most High. Right? Be in the power seat. And essentially, he is. Because the Most High set him up for a specific purpose. You know, and that all goes back to the weeding out of the wheat and the tares. Because those of the tares, they're going to incline themselves to Esau's technology. Because according to their mind, that's the way that things have to be. Right? They don't see another way. They don't see beyond what they've been introduced to, so to speak. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, this is Psalm 7 and 11. It says, "The Most High judges the righteous, and the Most High, Yahweh Bashim Shai, is angry with the wicked every day. If he turn not, he will whet his sword. He have bent his bow, and made it ready. He have also prepared him the instruments of death." It says, "He ordained his arrows against the persecutors. Behold, he travaileth with iniquity, and hath conceived mischief, and brought forth falsehood. He made a pit, and digged it, and is fallen into the ditch which he made. And his mischief shall return upon his own head."
Yeah, that reminds me of also the book of Psalm 10, where it says, "He shall be taken in the devices he have imagined." The word device there is mischief, plot, scheme, plan. Right? So he's going to be taken. It said that the Lord is going to whet his sword. The Lord whetting is the sharp. So the Lord is preparing this man's destruction. And anybody that's inclined unto his way is going to be destroyed. I know we read a lot there.
Kind of. I was like, the main part I wanted to get was he brought forth falsehood. That's this whole man's system.
Exactly.
Everything ultimately is against the Israelite man.
Yep.
You know, to bring the nation down. As soon as you bring the men down, the whole nation is through.
Yep.
So everything is geared to harming us. Because I remember luckily I had a doctor that was real truthful with me and stuff. She was like, yo, when you go to the store, don't go to the middle sections at all. Just go to the outer rims of the store, and that's where you find the healthiest food at. It might be a little expensive, but that's where you go find the healthiest food.
Yeah,
The cheap processed stuff is in the middle.
Yep,
And
yep.
I thought about it. I was like, you know, naturally, if you see something in the middle, something you're thinking, okay,
Yep.
that's where everything good is at.
Yep.
So
That's
Jake naturally is like, oh, I'm gonna go to the middle of the store. That's where the bulk of everything. Oh, that's where the good shit is at. So you go to the middle of the store, and they totally, because I only see Edomites go to the outer rim and barely go into the middle part. They get the fruits, vegetables, lean meats, and maybe a little bit of dairy products, and then they have the storage. And Jake be in the middle of it, in the ramen noodles, fucking PB&Js, and the sodas, and all the bullshit that costs cheap though, but declines your health to the ground, man.
Yeah.
Which leads you to having all those elements in your body. If you just, the doctor told me, if you just go around the outside, you basically be on what they were called Presbyterian, a good diet.
Yes.
So you're eating the greens, the herbs, the lean meats, maybe a little bit of like the what they call dairy products. And shit like that.
Yeah, no, that's a beautiful, like, when you say that, like, I was just a Giant today, right? And, like, literally, when you first go through Giant, those first doors, it's all produce. And if you go out through the produce and you get to the meat section, and then you go along the meat, and then you get to the dairy, and yeah. So, like that's a good point. Like, and all that good stuff is, now you have to pick through the BS, you know, there's some bullshit up in there, but ultimately, yeah, you can get your greens, you get your meats, and you get your dairies and all that.
And usually what you find at the end, especially with big grocery stores, at the end of the round, you'll find the last thing that you need to help digest it is you'll find the wine. It's never in the middle. It's usually at the end.
Right.
There's the produce, the meat, the dairy, and you'll find still at the outer end in actual grocery stores you'll find the wine. They know that's really what you're supposed to be eating. You ain't supposed to eat the extra processed bullshit that's in the middle of the store that costs you cheap. But you go straight to the middle. Oh damn, this is only $3? Oh shit, all right. I get like 6 of these, and not knowing that those shits is gonna kill you at the end of the day.
Yeah, it's again eating poison and living. Also too, whenever you do things in this society, I've learned that there's a way to do it, but no one is taught how to do things properly. Like, you're not taught how to navigate a supermarket. Most of the time, your peoples give you a list. You go in there and get this, that, and the third. You basically shopping like your. They had this thing where you little box and you dig in and you just pull something out. That's how people shop.
Yeah.
Like Esau don't shop like that because they're taught. Hey, they go with their mom from a young age, watch her, and as she navigates this supermarket, you know, she's this is how she do it. And that, like, what you're saying, how to navigate a supermarket is the correct way. They say that you're supposed to get a little bit of the bullshit. That's why it's in the middle. But most of you're supposed to shop in a circle. So you go like this, you know, and you go through the aisles like this. But most people go, when they go to the supermarket, shit, I'm looking for this. And they go straight to that. And then most people, when they shop, you don't just buy what you're looking for. You get some extra shit. You know what I'm saying? So that extra shit will end up being some bullshit unless you're looking for the good stuff. I mean, even when you shop in produce section, a lot of times because it has a short shelf life, a lot of that shit be on sale, but Jake don't know that. You know what I mean? You be like, nah, I don't want this. Or you only use it if you're cooking with certain ingredients.
Yeah.
You're not looking at like, you know, let me get these fruits because they good. You know?
But Jake don't plan.
Yeah, that
If
too.
you plan throughout the week, I'm like, I know I'm gonna eat this.
Well,
He's
Jake
like,
planned for the month. So now I got kids, I gotta go to work. So let me get these rhino dinos for these kids. You know what I'm saying? Because I gotta go ahead and eat. Let me get this, that, and the third. And Jake used to living like that, and you grow up living like that. Now you as an adult will start living like that, and your children will start growing the same way. You know, so well, I got a precept.
Because basically you'll be addicted to those foods. Your body crave for them. So no matter how much information you learn about the foods, your brain still gonna crave for them. It's like a constant fight. Bad. You can be doing good for a whole month or 2 months, but then you'll get something in the back of your head like, let me eat that drink.
Balance it out. You gotta eat. Muslims say to do more good than bad.
Yeah, Apostle Hart was telling me that when I was up top, man. You you know, in front of all the brothers, you know, like, hey, look, man, you got to work on your diet, man. And it turned into a class of diet at the end of camp. We just had a huge class of diet that, you know, that everybody could have benefited from had they been listening to it. But it's the real thing. It's like he said, what you really craving, you're not really craving for these things. It's the parasites that's in you. And then they showed us a picture of an actual tumor with teeth and eyes and shit. I was like, yeah, it's fucking disgusting. But the point of the matter is that a lot of that shit is just, the cravings come from the parasites that's within us. And that's why we get these enlarged bellies like myself. You get sluggish, you get tired. Until you figure it out, hey, let me start eating better. Going back to what the elder was saying earlier, you start to move up in your mindset. I'm paraphrasing what he said, but you start to move up and develop a spiritually grown man mindset. I can't eat the shit that I used to eat. Now I'm seeing the ramifications of it, because you realize when you get older, everything slows down. You know, when you're young, you can burn that shit off. But when you get older and get sedentary, now it's like, it starts to fuck with you. So, yeah.
We got the misconception that drugs is more dangerous to man than food.
Yeah.
In actuality, food is more dangerous because there's more people hooked on food than drugs.
Yeah. Well, they said food is a drug now. I think it's a documentary called "Food is a Drug." Yeah. There's a documentary about this shit.
And it is because they study how food releases different receptors in the brain, right? They study that. They study how, high sugar releases dopamine, right? All of it. They understand that these chemicals have certain effects on the brain. And that's what makes it much harder to kick those bad habits when it comes to your diet.
Yeah, you shouldn't
Parasites,
even.
and then you have to correct all that indulgence and all those different chemicals in the brain have to be, what's the word out there? Recalibrated. So you have to scale off those balanced diet.
Like, you shouldn't even bring those into your house, like cane sugar, white sugar, diamond. That's what you used to get, the diamond, the big bag of diamond.
5 pound
white,
bag.
Yellow, the blue. You shouldn't even bring that into the house. You got alternative sweeteners, which is stevia, like an Indian leaf.
You can't eat too much of that though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I
you
mean,
eat
well,
too
not
much
the same proportion.
Yeah.
Because the proportion is not the exact same.
Yeah, you
It's
get-
like a tenth or a fifth of what the proportion of cane sugar is.
You get that.
Or you use honey, nothing for sweeteners. But the sugar, the big bags of sugar and shit, don't even buy that. Keep it out your house. You gotta appreciate it. There's John 15 and 5. It says, I am the vine, you are the branches. He that abideth in me, and I in him, the same bringeth forth much fruit. For without me, you can do nothing. So going through your evolution of your diet and your mental conversion, you got to keep in mind that the thing that's going to be fueling you and moving you forward is going to be the Holy Spirit.
That's right.
All right? For, that says, John 15:6.
Oh, man, the bishop.
If a man abide not in me, he is cast forth as a branch and is withered, and men gather them and cast them into the fire, and they are burned. If you abide in me, and my words abide in you, ye shall ask what ye will, and it shall be done unto you.
Yeah.
All right. So you gotta use prayer, right? Fasting, all right? Doing lessons. All these things together will help you push past your addictions. All right? And it's going to be a long battle. It could be 10 years, but at least you're not, like Israel in the world, So you gotta work on that, constantly work on yourself. No matter what, never give up. So I'm gonna read one more verse. If ye abide in me and my words abide in you, ye shall ask what ye will, and it shall be done. Herein is my Father glorified, that ye bear much fruit, so shall ye be my disciples. All right, so we got to bear fruit. That's how we know that we are the Lord's disciples, and we bear fruit.
And this is
what we learn.
This is Luke chapter 16, verse 8. And the Lord commanded the unjust steward, because he had done wisely, for the children of this world are in their generation wiser than the children of light. And we're the children of light, the Israelites. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Ezekiel 28:3.
16
It says, behold,
16 and 8.
thou art wiser than Daniel. There is no secret that they can hide from thee. And that's talking about Esau.
Yeah, Esau. So whereas in this society, we are the children of light. We're supposed to be wiser But in this generation, the children of, I'm sorry, in this generation, the children of the world, Esau, Edom, mainly talking about him right now, they're wiser than the children of light. That's why they know these things. And all of this stuff goes back to when we were in power. We knew certain things like this. You know what I'm saying? We knew that we did this a certain way, we could control this. Look at how Gad used to move around, and I saw the benefits, a video of the benefits of moving around when you planting every so often. You know, this dude had this Edomite, he had a whole bunch of arid land on his property, and he only had a handful of cows. But then he started migrating the cows through his property. Next thing you know, grass started sprouting up in places where it was dry. You know, the cows started getting more nutrients. Why? Because they, I forget what they call it, but they moved the migration on the land. So every 7 years, we would move the migration of the animals from one portion of the land to the next, and then you let that portion rest. That's in the law. So there's a benefit of that, not only for the animals, not only for the harvest or the plants, the nutrients of the earth, but also for us too. So we became more migrational in that aspect. So that was a wise thing, but we lost that. You look at Jake now on the reservations, they don't know nothing about that. They're just scratching and surviving, like Jake in the projects. You know, they don't know, they don't have no cattle, no land that's arable, or they don't have enough arable land. I mean, enough land to make it plentiful. So now they jacked up because a lot of the lands that they on won't even grow nothing. You know, so they gotta eat the bullshit. They literally gotta go to the system because they live in the middle of nowhere. They don't all got transportation. And guess who's out there feeding Jake the bullshit, giving Jake the liquor? The heathens, the other nations, going against Jake, trying to destroy Jake. Well, not trying, they are destroying Jake while benefiting off of it. So again, these people of the world, they're wiser than the children of light. But now we have this truth of Yahweh Shem Shai, we're becoming more wiser. Because Esau thinks that shit that he's doing is really going to pan out forever and a day, and it's not. Just like I saw something earlier saying that the beta test, this woman was saying that basically electric cars is set up to keep people in poverty. You know, she said because if you got your own private vehicle, you can go further and work and make more money. You can do this, you can do that. Well, with the electric vehicle, you can only go certain many miles, and then until that shit shut off. So now you're stuck wherever you're at. And now in the city, now they talking about they want these cities to be 15-minute cities. Everything you need should be in the area. But Jake been growing up like that. That's called the ghetto. That's why most people live. I'm originally from this city, and I had never ventured out anywhere until I got a vehicle, until I was able to move around. But I literally was born, raised, and stayed in North Philadelphia. That was it. Or wherever part of the city I was in, that's where I stayed at. And Esau banking on that. That's why now you go amongst Philadelphia and you see certain portions, it like bug you out. You're like, I didn't even know this shit was here. And I grew up here, you know, because it keeps you bonded. You go to school there, you go to work there, you go to bed there, you live there, grow there, you play there. And that's where they want you to stay. And that was just like slavery. Antebellum slavery we were the beta test for the world. You know what I'm saying? We was like, let's break these niggas and these, whatever they called us back then, colored people, Negroes, let's break them down. Let's get capital off of these people. And then, you know what? Let's take it from there. And then we're going to create wage slavery. Because like the dude, Hazard Circle, the guy, John Hazard, who the Hazard Circle was named after, he said that the care of the slave slavery is but the care of the slave, meaning that Esau had to provide the food, the clothing, the shelter. Now you go to work and you got to provide that shit, and you still got to go to slavery. And he said the best thing we could do is control the wages. So that's what they do. That's why when you go to a job, they'll ask you what you might want to start out with, but they're gonna give you a controlled wage, $15 an hour. That's what you're gonna get until we raise it up. Minimum wage, yep. Wage control. So now I can control how much you're gonna make in a lifetime. You know, that's why, you know, when niggas ain't winning the lottery, you know, Jake ain't winning, not in the center city, not in these urban cities. And I say that because they want to control that opposition. So can somebody get Psalms 83, Baba Gashah, start at the top? Can I go around there, Elder? I'm going in front of you.
Yeah, that's why, like, when all that shit happened with, like, Robinhood, you had just, like, everyday random people making millions of dollars in the damn stock market. And they're like, wait a minute, you ain't supposed to be doing this. This is supposed to be for a select group of people. Not any old Joe Schmo should be able to just make millions in a day or thousands in a day. They can't control that. That's why, like, they shut certain tradings down. They did certain things to hinder that because they can't afford to have low-level people like ourselves just raise up in money, right? They can't, first off, there's not enough money for everybody to make that kind of money. That, the dollar wouldn't be able to substantiate that amount of wealth to all the people.
Yeah, well, I don't know if y'all brothers remember when the GameStop issue happened.
Yep.
Took away the bomb.
Oh, it took the head. Them hedge fund leaders were pissed off. They were like, "What? What is going on here? How the one hedge fund leader? He said that this should be illegal. They shouldn't be allowed to make no shorts or money off of this short." It was like, but they do it all the time. They make billions and billions of dollars off of these shorts. But when the average man start making that money, then it's a problem.
Yep. If I can add to that too, there was a video I watched, and they kind of they made a symbol to, right? So they basically said that situation with Robinhood, what they started to realize is as that was running up, so many people, if they would have let it basically keep running, they would have found out that there was not enough money to give the people when they decided to pull it out. They said it would have collapsed literally everything. Not just the stock market, they would have literally collapsed the entire the entire Federal Reserve note itself. That's why they shut it down. They likened it to the movie. I forget what movie it is, but basically like they're lying to you, saying about how much money there really is when there's not, right? Just like they were saying, like, it was a movie about, like, basically they lived on a train, like everything was like life was on a train. Yeah. And they basically were like lying about how much food they really had. And if they found out that there wasn't enough food for them, it would have caused, like, once people really realized, like, oh, we're fucked, and they went to seek after that, it would have brought the whole place down. That's exactly what happened. The dude, the main character, when he basically figured it out, they stampeded and just made a rush for the center where where all the elites were up in the front of the train. They just fucking stampeded that when they found out the lie that they were told and whatnot. But basically that was the same similitude of the stock market. Like they didn't have the funds for it.
Psalms 83.
Yeah, that's right. This is Psalms 83:1. Keep not thou silence, O Most High. Hold not thy peace and be not still, O Yahweh. For lo, thine enemies make it tumble.
Yeah, it's a moment. Commotion. They're making commotion against the Heavenly Father. Like, look, we're going to stop these people from being a nation. We're going to stop these people from going. We're going to be the rulers now. This going to be our plan, and it's not set up for them to be that way. But that's the whole plan of the so-called NWO, is for them to control it with Esau as the head. Right?
Like an example, economically, what nation is going to be the next hegemon of the world?
Yeah.
The next world leader. Oh, it's going to be the BRICS nation. Well, they're going to be that adversarial part to the beast, right? Like even France now talking about making deals. Yeah. Now remember, France is an ally. They're part of the EU and they're part of NATO. But what does it say? That this kingdom is going to be partly strong and partly weak. So there are elements to that, but they got the world thinking, well, that's what's going to lead us now economically. We're going through a de-dollarization. Are we? Yes. But the image that they're trying to paint is this is going to be the next power structure. No, the next power structure is the nation of Israel. That's what they're not telling you. That's what they're not telling you. Just to give an example of the commotion that they're making.
And they're trying to prevent it.
Yeah.
They're trying to stop it.
That's it.
And what ways to stop it? First of all, let's get them on the ground level.
Yeah.
Let's destroy the men.
Yeah.
Let's destroy the women. Let's destroy the children.
Yeah.
And then they can't even grow to even get to this point, but then you got the elect amongst them.
Yeah.
So eventually they're going to turn and try to turn their attention to us.
I remember them saying racing you to the foundation.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, you got the definition.
Yeah, so the Hebrew word for tomo, Mario, from the Hebrew, hama, right, which means a growl, a roar, a cry of love, a rage, a sound, and make noise.
Yeah, so that's what they're doing. When they go to these meetings, these super classified meetings that they don't tell you about, that's what they're yelling across the table, frothing at the mouth and shit. Like, I don't fucking know this motherfucking tank. Oh, they know too much. It's too much. How are we going to do this? Oh, we got this going on. Well, we have this going on. Well, they might just be soft spoken about it, but nonetheless, this is what they're doing. They're raging.
Yeah, to murmur, to be boisterous.
Yeah, and that's what they are. They even do it in front of your face. That's why your president Biden said that he'd be damned if he had to pay for the sins of his fathers. He's concerned about the sins of today. Yeah, he said that in 1974. He said that he shouldn't have to pay or be responsible for something that happened 300 years ago. See, every time they go talk about slavery, it's like 300, 200, 400 years ago. You know, and it really wasn't that long ago. It's less than 150 years ago.
Yeah, if you steal a car or you steal somebody's property and you get court 10 days later, you can't say, well, that happened in the past.
Yeah.
You can't charge me for it.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
But then Esau can do it.
Yeah,
He can
exactly.
say that.
Yeah, exactly.
Like Mitch McConnell said the same thing about when they were talking about reparations, and Lindsey Graham said the same thing. It was like, listen, man, we got the tax that we're worried about this now. But they never addressed it. They never addressed the fact that they compensated all of these wealthy planters for their loss, and they didn't compensate the people who had the help. But going back to what the elder said, they don't want you to have a defense of any kind. Only time you can try to get a simple defense is if you got that money. That's like that dude that just got off Travis Rudolph. That nigga had to go in the pocket to pay Michael, whatever his name, Mark the lawyer. He had to go in the pocket for that kind of defense, because had it been a public defender, and he'd have been ate up. He'd have been ate alive. You know what I'm saying? But he had to go into defense. So the average individual on this side here that get plugged into this man's system, namely his court system, they don't have that defense. So money is not the defense. First of all, they can't get bail. They can't get and it'd be for simple shit like $100. They can't even get that sometimes. They can't get bail. They can't get a qualified lawyer. So they can't get a qualified defense or argument for the defense. So that's out. When it comes to your food, you can't buy the best foods because you don't have the defensive mechanism to get it. Whole Foods and all these other places, Trader Joe's and shit like that. That ain't in the ghetto, man. Talking about ShopRite.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I remember living here with some shit called Super Fresh. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Super Fresh, Half Mart, all that kind of shit. That's what we know. You know, but then you start to grow, get money, you start to get your little defense going on. Now you start going to these different places. I didn't even know it was something called farmers market. You know what I mean? That's some shit where regular people come with their goods and they sell them. You know what I'm saying? So again, you don't have these defenses because they don't want you. They want you to be defenseless. That's why they don't want you to come back to Yahweh shot. Because our true defense is the Lord. So if we come back to that, now they know it's over. Like they see the elect, they see the remnant of the Lord, people raising up, they ignoring us for the time being, they're trying to mute our word for the time being. But the point of the matter is, the vast majority of our people are out here defenseless spiritually. And that's why they're going to be overcome.
That's right. All right. Yeah, because the major defense, like the brother said, the major defense is the truth.
No, I don't fucking hard. It's like
What does the scripture say? Our people are destroyed for the lack of
I don't know
knowledge.
if it was like
So our people are
a leaf or
destroyed for
something,
the
but I
lack
felt
of
like
defense.
something. I said, well, I'm just not being my
This is Psalm 83, verse 2 again. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up their head.
Yeah, so these nations, they hate the Lord. They hate Yahweh Shai. To the point where they go hot water in my trunk.
It's room temperature.
That's fine. That's perfect. These nations.
Yeah, I got you. This is Psalms 82 and verse 2 again. 83 and 2. It says, for lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up thine head.
These nations, they actually hate the Lord. I don't care how much they talk about what particular God they love and adhere to. They hate the Yahweh Shai. One, because it's super elite. They already know history. They know true history. And they know that the Lord has overcome all of these nations. That's the first thing. The second thing is the Lord didn't choose these nations. So that's another reason why they hate him. Okay? They hate him because they hate him also because the way he blessed his people. He didn't bless these other nations the way he blessed us. So these people, they didn't hate you, they lifted up their head. What are they doing? They lifted up their head in pride. Pride because they look where they got the Lord's people at. You know, hey, what's his brother's name? Hey, brother, can you get Lamentations? I'm sorry, Lamentations 2 and 15. Hold that real quick. Get Lamentations 2 and 15. Nah, brother. Lamentations 2 and 15, brother.
That's 2:15 right now. All right, this is Lamentations 2 and 15. All that pass by clap their hands at thee. They hiss and wag their head at the daughter of Jerusalem, saying, is this the city that men call the perfection of beauty, the joy of the whole earth?
And that's not talking about Jerusalem physically. That's talking about us as a people. Jerusalem is a people before it's a place. When these nations come rolling around here, at one time, I don't know if you still got it here, in Philadelphia, they used to have a tour bus with groups, and they would go through the hood. In New York City, they got the hip-hop tour. They go through the ghetto. They go through the ghetto, and what they do is they look at you. Or they might be working amongst you. They looking at you like, and they shaking their head like, is this the Lord people? Is this the city of perfection? The city of beauty? Is this is what we supposed to be worshiping and following after? Look at them. The women are whores, the men are sodomites, they're violent, they don't have no regard for life. Okay? No so-called education. You know, I was watching The Wire, season 4, and in the school, they were showing all these rebellious ass kids, Esau trying to teach them, and then come to find out, the woman told the dude, listen, you gotta survive, not them, fuck them. They don't want you to survive. Keep reading.
This is verse 16. All thine enemies have opened their mouth against thee. They hiss and gnash the teeth. They say, we have swallowed her up. Certainly, this is the day that we look for.
And they've been looking for this. They've been looking for the day where we were going to be so low and that they could overcome us, man. Because but in the ancient world, we had power. We had spiritual powers, but we had the direct connection to Yahweh Shai. And nobody could fuck with us when we were doing the right thing. When we started doing the wrong thing, that's why when you read in Judah chapter 5, they tell you that, look, if the Lord don't find no iniquity in these people and you fight against them, you're going to be fighting against the Most High. But if there's iniquity in them, He's going to allow you to overcome them. So that's why sin is wholesale amongst our people. You grow up in sin, you live in sin, and you die in sin. And why? Because this is what Esau wants. That's why even down to your clothes. See, people think that just having clothes on is just something to keep warm. But if we wear, obviously in captivity, but according to the precepts, if we wear mixed fabrics, that's a sin. That alone, just I got cotton and wool on at the same time. And then it also too, it bring down your vibration. So it make you weaker. So like we're the real Superman. Our sin is our kryptonite. So Lex Luthor is Esau. And this nigga, he found out the way to industrialize iniquity and sin. So that's why everything you do, everything you touch, everything you drink, everything you smell, it makes you go off. All right? And Esau thought that if I keep them in this kind of condition, I'm gonna always be able to overcome them. Not remembering, the elect, the remnant, who sins that the Lord pardoned. It don't matter what you did on this side. The Lord said, if you pardon the elect, God, blessed be the man who the Most High pardon not his iniquities. Right? So they're covered. Not saying that I'm gonna go out and be a nigga. It's saying that whatever you've done, the Lord is not gonna hold you accountable for that. A great example of that is with King David. When he committed those acts of adultery and murder, what he did, those caused for death. But the Lord said, look, I have forgiven you of those sins. Even though he forgave them, he still judged them, but he judged them in a more merciful way. So his family turned against him, and then he had to deal with that for the rest of his life. But the worst judgment could have been him getting put to death, and then his line just stopped, and then he just be out of here, and that mercy wouldn't be given to him. But see, Esau didn't think the mercy was going to give him to you. He said, you niggas ain't deserving of mercy. You grow up, you a thug, you a thief, you a murderer, you a liar, you a cheat, you an adulterer, you this, you that, you a sodomite. Whatever mindset you was in prior to coming to this truth, Esau was banking on that, man. He was banking on that, but he didn't realize that the elect was amongst his people.
We have found, we have seen it. 17. Yep. The Lord Yahweh have done that which he had devised. He had fulfilled his word that he had commanded in the days of old.
Yeah, and what he said that if you do this is going to happen. See, these nations know that. What you think, they just forgot about that? They just said, you know what, we just on a new technological age, and we forgot about the promises, the curses, all of this that the Lord said amongst his people. It's a reason why this book is the #1 book on the planet Earth. Because there are people that really study this book. There are really people that really go deep into it and understand the nature of Yahweh Bashi and Yahweh Shai. And they know that he don't forgive these heathen nations. They know that he don't even look kindly on these heathen nations. That's why they teach you that you're less than nothing. That's why they teach you that you're a spittle. Your life matters not here. But that's a lie.
You're an African booty scratcher.
Just a little bit left. He have thrown down and have not pited.
Pity.
and he hath caused thine enemy to rejoice over thee. He has set up the horn of thine adversary.
And that's why you see, that's why when you see Jake in the state they in, it's like the Lord ain't got no pity for Jake, man. Like my man Snoop said, East Coast ain't got no love for Snoop Dogg, Death Row. No, nigga. Look at what you doing. The Most High didn't have that pity for us. So that's why what happened to us prior to the transatlantic slave trade. You talk about the overcoming of America, the colonization of America. That shit was brutal. You know what I'm saying? Jake couldn't even make it past 6 months in that captivity. You know what I'm saying? So it was terrible for Jake. And then when you look at these people today, you're like, man, these people, the Lord ain't got no pity on these people. But that's because these heathens ain't got no love for the Most High. They don't have no love for his people. And then, can you read that portion again?
He hath thrown down and have not pitied.
He have thrown down. So the ancient, the kingdoms that we had, the power that we had, that shit was taken away. You look at the Middle Ages, they don't even talk about the Middle Ages too much because that was when Jake was getting. They don't talk about them noble houses like that. Why? Because that's when Jake was getting. But he tore that away. He made that a memory. Not even a memory. He just erased it. You know what I'm saying? So that to the point where like you think your history start with slavery, and you think your history start with the colonization of Americas. You don't even think about ancient world during the time of Alexander the Greek, Antiochus IV. You don't think about past that, the Persian and the Mede. You ain't even thinking about Egypt unless they're bringing it up. And now niggas want to be all Egypt out. But you don't think about what the Lord has done, because in all those captivities, Yahweh Shah has done something for his people. And every last one of them, he delivered them. He judged them. He had mercy upon them. Same thing he's having them. And the enemies don't want that.
Nope.
They want you to be a thug. They want you to be a rapist. They want you to be a beast. Margaret Singer said a delinquent, a juvenile, so that you don't even deserve to live.
Because that's why if you go on to YouTube or any other platform, right, with these different entertainers and artists, they get endorsements, millions of dollars and views to sell on people poisonous music. We're talking adultery, idolatry, murder. That's glorified.
Yeah.
You get a Jake get up there and talk about how men got to start being men, and there's a certain code of ethics, and a certain strike towards masculinity, right? How much more the men will learn? You know, he's getting strike down. Shadow. Right? They're messing with the view count. They're messing with everything that would allow the algorithm to push that video out to more brothers, more sisters, right? Meanwhile, you got this nigga on fucking, what are these different, what's that video shit? I don't know how popular it is now, but I remember when they started allowing these different labels and stuff like that on YouTube to advertise and stuff like that. I forget what it's called. Vidmo or some shit like that. Vigo. Is that what it's called? With all the music videos and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, Vigo.
Yeah, Vigo. That's what it is. Now there's other ones out there that's got thousands of views, right? They put that out there, they push it, they advertise the song, everything. Constant.
Yeah, and those things are hypnotic. So they put you in a spirit. Just like that food we were talking about, the music that you put into your ear, it put a spirit on you, man. And then like you're not gonna get the benefit that a Cardi B may get. You're not gonna get the benefit. You might. That's why a lot of these women want to get the plastic surgery now, all that shit, because they see that it's like they're hypnotized to that shit. So they want to go. It's cheap to go to Mexico. It's cheap to go to Colombia, and I could get this done and get that done. They didn't even think about the ramifications. Now you see bitches getting put to death behind that shit. You know, a woman came home after 2 or 3 months of surgery from Mexico. The bitch had fungal meningitis. She thought she had a headache, and then the bitch got 4 mini strokes, and she ultimately lost her life. She was a mother, she was a wife, and now her husband is a widow. Now her kids are are orphans without a mother. You know what I'm saying? So all because of her vanity. They made a big deal about the chick, DC Young Fly's wife, Jackie O. I don't know who she is, but they made a big deal about her. All because she wanted to give into her vanity. Why? Because she was hypnotized by the bullshit that they see. See, Cardi B and them, they're going to get the top plastic surgeons, which the top plastic surgeons are either in Turkey or America. So they'll fly them out there, but they'll keep them here. And they'll pay for the record industry pay for that shit. Also, you can entice these women to destroy themselves. so that they can't be mothers. Their wombs are fucked.
Yeah.
Their minds are fucked. Let's entice these men. Get your husband. The bitch is married. Beyonce is fucking married. You should be at a point in your life where now I'm being a wife, or now I'm being a husband, and whatever that comes with that. These niggas, they out here popping champagne, fucking bitches like it ain't no tomorrow, killing each other like it ain't tomorrow, hypnotizing you to do those things without getting those benefits that the ones that are these magicians are getting. You know, look at your Ice Cube. This nigga, he went from being a nigga you love to hate, now he's family man. You know what I'm saying? He's a director. Why? Because he got the chance to live. His music enticed niggas to ride on each other and destroy them. Destroy themselves.
Yeah, they also on a wicked lifestyle.
Yeah, he's never been arrested. That nigga ain't never been in behind bars before, man. He said he came out of penitentiary. Nigga, you ain't never been in the penitentiary, bro. And you had niggas in the world that was like really trying to tell you that, hey, this nigga's whack. He's lying to you. The nigga Monster Cody hated that nigga, man. Called that nigga O'Shea and all that shit, man. He's like that nigga Ice Cube. He said that nigga's phony, man. Here it is, this nigga risking his life and limb to do wickedness. All he got to do is entice you. I remember that nigga was on Sesame Street with a fucking magician's hat and a wand. Elder Apostle Ricard saw the video. No, Elder Apostle Ricard showed the video to Apostle Ricard. He said, oh, that nigga's a warlock. You know what I'm saying? And he is. These people that you see that's enticing you are actually warlocks to destroy you. And Esau, these are part of Esau's weapon. That's the hatred, man.
This is Psalms 59 and 17. It says, unto thee, O my strength, will I sing. For the Most High, Yahweh Bashim is my defense and the power of my mercy. You know, so at the end of the day, our true defense is Yahweh Bashim. And Esau doesn't want us to have that defense. So what does he do? All these things in front of us turn us away from the Lord. You know, but the Lord had it to where the elected nation of Israel, no matter what their life was, there would be an event where they turned back to the Lord. I was remember our brother did a video. So I was watching the movie, the Spider-Verse movie and stuff. It was like every so-called Spider-Man, there's an event that happens that he becomes the man that he's supposed to be. That's the same thing for the elected nation of Israel. There's an event for each member of the elect is going to have them turn back to the Lord. You know, whoever it may be. Each brother got their own story of what made them what happened to them that made them turn back to the Lord.
That origin story.
Yeah, the origin story.
Every one of us got an origin story, man. I remember when I first came to Philadelphia in the truth. Elder DeBach asked me that. He said, hey man, how'd you wake up, man? It was like one of the first questions when we sat down. It's like, man, hey man, how'd you wake up, man? I told him, we went through my origin story real quick. Then I asked him, he gave me his origin story. He told me about his brother. I was like, oh shit, for real? He's like, yeah, every last one of us got one, man. But that Esau wants to, every story, every hero has a villain that he has to fight. Let's keep on reading about them villains.
Be alone. All right, this is Psalms 83 and verse 2 again. For lo, thine enemies, or villains, make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden.
And that crafty counsel, I think it's mischievousness, is what that means. Like, hey, that's what we're talking about. All these industries that we are operating within this world, that's crafty counsel. That wasn't haphazardly put together, man. That shit was intricately put together to make it work. They had to have beta tests. They had to do this, that, do that, and then they had to make it. They had to quantify it, and then once they did that shit, then we could put it out. You know what I'm saying? So that's crafty counsel.
This is why they're able to get on television. They can say, "Oh, this particular thing affects mainly minority groups." How do you know? Because you had it done the research.
Do the research. Nigga just be like,
You had it done the research. You had to take test subjects, whether they were wittingly or unwittingly. You had test subjects to determine, oh, this affects this group more than this group, or this more affected by that, this, and the third. In order to have that, those
Yeah,
statistics, that
they're
data, to reflect that outcome, you have had to come to Esau.
And they can't.
And the scriptures tell you, it's like, and the scriptures tell you that he searched a diligent search.
Yeah, Esau's put up a. I was about to say
Psalm
that
64.
they can't just pad those statistics. That one lady that just got put in the prison for the blood thing, the blood quantum, some type of blood test. I forget her name, but she's in prison right now for like 12 years because she was padding those statistics, man. Those statistics, her machine didn't really work. But they found out because statistically that shit didn't make no sense. So they had to put that bitch into prison. You know, for lying to our investors and stealing people's money. So again, the Esau, he had to make that shit make sense, man.
Psalms 83, Salakia, Psalms 83 and verse 4. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation.
Let us cut them off from being a nation. These people right here on this sun right here, this is a nation of people. You so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, Seminole Indians, and people that go back to us on your forefathers' side, you are one nation. I don't care if you speak in Patois, Spanish, Portuguese, English, French, African, it don't matter. You are one nation of people. Just like Moab, Ammon, Ishmael, Edom, those are one nation of people. They're not separate from, they're one nation of people. Individually, they're nations. So we're nations. But how do they keep you from being a nation? Well, they separated you in different variations, whether it be your linguistically through language, whether it be ethnically through culture, whether it be through division, colorisms, things like that. They said we ain't gonna let them come together. That's why in the 60s and the 70s, mainly in the 70s, you started to see these revolutionary movements come up, and there was a lot of jakes coming together like this. And that the CIA is like, nah, we gotta break this shit up, man. You know, when they start seeing blacks come together via the Black Panther movement, you know, the black socialist movements, they destroyed that shit, man. And a lot of these groups were set up by Esau. Like a lot of, I don't know if you brothers know, the Nation of Islam was set up, was sponsored by this dude named, I had mentioned it about a couple weeks ago, about the family that owns the Chiefs, the Hunt family. Yeah, I don't know if he was an Amalekite, but I definitely know he was an Edomite. And he was pushing money to Elijah Poole, aka Elijah Muhammad, because he was a staunch racist. And he believed in total segregation. And so Elijah Poole's idea of segregation, total separation from the white man, it jived with him. So he said, you know what, I'm gonna get this dude some money. So he gave him money. They would go to these secret meetings, and that's what Malcolm X really found out. It had nothing really to do about the fact that he was fucking underage women and impregnating them. It had to do with about where that money was coming from to put this together. And it wasn't just coming from a grassroots dynamic of people. It was, but it was mainly coming from L.A. Trump. And all those different groups, the Black Panther Party, Black Revolutionary Party, all that shit was CIA or Mossad, all that shit was set up financially through Esau. So that he could find the ones that was the grassroots ones, let's get them out of the way. Like your man Fred Hampton. Fred Hampton, he was a grass, but he had the mind of a man that was like 60.
That's their crafty counsel. Because there's nothing new under the sun. You know, Esau's always trying to find a way to infiltrate and divide Israel. Like the brother was saying, beautifully. That even goes towards Israel. You see Israel waking up, he found out that this is the truth. And we got this by the Spirit. So Esau's like, damn, this is the only thing that I didn't front. So now what is he trying to do? He's trying to go to these different groups and what? Cause them to lead people astray, like the IUIC. Anytime they're making 150 million, you know they got the bag, man. ISUPK, they got the bag. You see? There's nothing new under the sun. All right? This is Psalms 83 in verse 4. Again, they have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation.
Yeah, so you don't hear us being one nation no more. We separated. They saw that division work in the ancient world when we had the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom. We were warring against each other, and we were separating ourselves, we were divided.
Sure.
They have a thing called divide and conquer.
That's right. It says that the name of Israel, or Yasha may be no more in remembrance.
So you hear the name Israel, they talk about the state of Israel and all that other stuff, but you don't hear Yasha as a nation of people together. They tell you that the 10 lost tribes went over the San Batu River somewhere, which that don't even exist, and then they just lost somewhere. and then recently they found the tribe of Manasseh and East Indian Asian some real people, you know. But you don't hear them being a nation. You hear Jewish. So all you hear is Judah this, Judah that. But you don't hear them being a nation. And then when you look at our nation as a people, we're so damn divided. We're not a nation anymore. So I think you hear the term Israel, but not as a nation. That's right.
It says, Psalms 83 verse 5. They have consulted together with one consent.
Yeah, so these nations, they went to these meetings and they consulted with one another. And they're all of one agreement. We got to get these niggas and stickers and tacos out of here. We cannot allow them. And I had asked Elder Mawassak years ago about this, the elder in LA. I asked him, I was like, yo, you think the the Edomites took a page out of the Romans book and they created this glass ceiling so Jake couldn't rise? And he said, really, it was Yahweh Shai that did that. Because during the ancient Roman, the Holy Roman Empire, that was Jake that rose to prominence. They rose to prominence, and then they overcame Esau. And so Esau was like, no, not again. We're not having that shit again. We're gonna create the glass ceiling. These niggas can only go so far without us knowing, or with our permission. And that's as far as you're gonna get. And you always gonna be in the subservient role to Esau. That's why you're not gonna rise to the point of high level in politics in this country. You know what I'm saying? And you're not gonna rise in money problems. You got Jake that's doing well, but they control. All of them dudes are control. You know what I'm saying? They're not on their own doing this shit. And if you are somebody on your own doing that, they're gonna find a way to bring you down. There's always the taxes gonna get you. There's always gonna be some sexual allegations are gonna tear you down. There's always gonna be some type of fraud happening. Something's gonna bring you down unless you write that bill with them.
Right, that's why all these different allegations with celebrities, politics, it doesn't come out until about 20, 30 years later. Like looking back and stuff. They knew what was going on, but they were saving it for a certain point in time to bring it all out, to demonize that individual, because more than likely, at this particular time of this demonization, they're not going along with the program, or they're not doing what was written in the contract. So that's how they do it. They demonize you, right? They do character assassination. You know?
Well, like I said,
and pursue you criminally.
Yeah. You know? The precept said in Ecclesiastes 14, I think it's 14, it might be 13, where it says, when you have no more use for you, you know what I'm saying? He'll just laugh you to scorn and get you up out of there, man. Roughly paraphrasing.
And they don't want you to pass your wealth down to the next generation.
Right.
Because the next generation might not make that pact that you made with them.
Right. Exactly. See, that's smart. Because, hey, this dude probably told him, like, look, son, I had to sell out. You don't. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, nah, they don't have that agreement. Then you got those families that do continuously selling souls, but like the brother was saying, man, they don't want you to pass that down. All that generational wealth shit, you niggas ain't never gonna get generational wealth on the side. One, because this ain't your rest. Two, Esau don't want that. And Jake got more than enough money. Just because Jake live in the ghetto, do not think that niggas ain't got money. They got money to do the bullshit, but they ain't got money to do the right thing.
Yep. This is Sirach chapter 13 and 4. It says, if thou be for his profit, he will use thee.
Yeah, if you for his profit, he gonna use you. Like, and these people that sell their souls out, especially when they're young, they don't care. Because it's like, I'm young now, I'm living good. You know, he need me. Nah, nigga, he don't need you, man. It's always another Cardi B out here. Oh, they bringing them up. They got that one dirty chick talking about some...
Ice Spice?
No, the other chick said Sufyana. Yeah, no, with big sexy or big red sexy. I don't know the bitch name. I just know there's a popular song in Philadelphia about a booty being brown. You know what I'm saying? That trash. You know? Weirdo shit. But and then you see the bitch on the TV with pockets full of money and a purse full of money. Like, wait a minute, bitch, where'd you get this from?
Where'd she come from?
Where the fuck did you come from and where did you get this money? Even Method Man asked that on Matt Hopper. He's like, where's these young kids getting all this money? Because when I was rapping, it was nothing. We ain't get shit. They be lucky to get $2,000. Yeah,
Niggas get on jets and shit.
Yeah, they flying on jets and shit. They got, because they selling out. They doing a bigger job than Method Man could ever do. But he sold out too. Hey, this nigga standing in front on Juneteenth with fucking Joe Biden at the White House talking about something. Joe Biden for Juneteenth to celebrate this. I'm like, Method Man? This nigga? I'm like, yo. That nigga sold out. He been took that booty hole shape.
Dang.
Yep. It says, but if thou have nothing, he will forsake thee.
Yeah, if you ain't got nothing for him, if you are no more useful for him, he forsake you, won't forsake you. James Brown, Michael Jackson, Red Fox, Lena Horne, Aretha Franklin. Aretha Franklin was singing niggas to sleep. She was lullabying niggas to sleep. Listen to that bullshit, man. Till she was old enough and gray, they got her ass up out of here. She died, no will. The bitch was tax evading like a motherfucker. So she had to go.
And plus, they know secrets that they don't want to get out. So they gotta kill them.
They gotta put them to death, yeah. And that's that blood oath.
Yeah.
It says, if thou have anything, he will live with thee. Yeah, he will make thee bear and will not be sorry for it.
Yeah, if you got anything of useful for Esau, he will live with you, man. But while he living with you, he gonna make you bear. One of the biggest problems these labels have, these industry people have, is that they done sold their publishing and their rights. And they got this thing called reversion now. Supposedly at the 20, but they're gonna do away with that. Supposedly at the 25 years, all your publishing come back to you. Like JD or Jermaine Dupri was talking about all the shit he wrote in 92 and 93 is coming back to him. But ain't nobody listening to that shit anymore. Nobody cares about Escape, you know what I'm saying? But all that shit he wrote is coming back to him. And he's waiting for that to negotiate a bigger check. Because now what they're doing is before reversion hits, they're offering you $100+ million for all your publishing, all your rights. And these niggas, they so much in debt. They'll take that shit. Future took it.
Yeah, I'm gonna say
Future took it. Lil Wayne took it. Ja Rule took it. No, not Ja Rule. Irv Gotti took it. You know, they ain't giving Jay-Z that deal. He's like, nah, nigga, I'm good. I own mine. He sucked the right, you know what I mean? So he's good. But these other dudes, they got that shit now, and that's how they getting you. So now, past 25-year mark, they're putting your shit in movies and shit like that. And now you're not getting a check from it. Those people that, and it's not even like super elite labels, it's individuals with money. Edomite billionaires. Oh, I'll give you $100 million. Sign this contract and it belongs to me. And this nigga Irv Gotti talking about the guy that took his contracts is his friend. He's not your fucking friend. You know, you're a business acquisition, nigga.
Yep. And it says, if it's like verse 6, it says, if he have need of thee, he will deceive thee and smile upon thee and put thee in hope.
And that's what all those contracts are, deception. And they put you in hope. Man, I'm about to be good.
Yeah,
well, 20, 30 years.
Making the band?
Oh, yeah.
We're making the band. They gave him like $60,000.
Yeah, they was giving them less than that. I think they said they were going to give him $7,500.
Yeah.
$7,500 for all them people. And he ended up negotiating a deal that got each and everybody like $40,000 or something like that. And that still was no negotiation.
Yes.
Yep.
It says, he will speak thee fair and say, what wantest thou? And he will shame thee by his meats until he hath drawn thee dry twice or thrice, pardon. And he will laugh, and at last he will laugh thee to scorn. Afterward, when he seeth thee, he will forsake thee and shake his head at thee.
And that's what they do. They learned what they did to Michael Jackson. They was like, that nigga wanted that nigga so doped up, he couldn't even sleep at night, man. He got all them demons on him. He had to get the, what do you call it? His sleepy juice. You know? That nigga was doing Trazodone, Zoloft. That nigga was on everything that make you go to sleep. But a real sleep. And that's all part of that deception. And don't think he's alone. All of them are on that shit, man. On that shit, man. That was it?
Yeah, that's it.
Verse 5 again. This is Salakia. This is Psalms 83 and 5. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee.
A confederate against thee, yeah.
The tabernacles of Edom.
Here it is. Now you're getting the list. These supervillains, the team of supervillains, man. What they call it? Yeah, the Justice League. I forget the other dude's name. League of Doom. The League of Doom. He reading about the League of Doom right here. Right?
It says the tabernacles of Edom,
which is the so-called white man, right?
And the Ishmaelites.
It's like the Confederate. You know the word Confederate, it means they put away their differences to, because these Esau and these other heathen nations, they're at odds too, but they put away their differences to have one common enemy. Yep. So that's what Confederate means.
There you go, man. And that one common enemy is us, the Israelites, starting with our power, Yahweh Shai, and ultimately us. Go ahead.
It shows you that the elites of the other nations are involved too.
Yep.
It says the tabernacles of Edom and the Ishmaelites.
The tabernacles of Edom, which is a so-called white man, and the Ishmaelites, which is so-called Arabs today. You can put the Midianites in there too. All them Arab nations, they're against us. They're elite. They know what time it is.
Huh?
Go ahead.
A Moab.
The so-called Chinese. Them
And
motherfuckers, them slant-eyed, flat-faced goops. They know who you are.
Oh.
They know exactly who you are. They know you ain't African. Okay? They know you the Israelites. They know you ain't Puerto Rican. They know you the Israelites, man. And that's why they there. They try to learn your language and shit, and your lingo. I was in a Uber, and this dude, he might be a Jake though. He's from he's Elamite, but he's from Germany. And he said that when he first moved to America and shit, he was like, man, I had to learn the blacks. They didn't accept me over there on Allegheny Avenue. They told me that I had to learn the hood language. You know what I'm saying? He had to learn that slang to do business with these people. You know, he lost his businesses or whatever, but he was saying that like, man, like, yo, he was putting me on to some game, man. He was like, look, man, I told him I was in the military in the past, whatever. He said, we need more people like you, man, with degrees and that was in the military. You know, you got a value for life. These kids here, they don't have value for life, man. They just kill each other up, do all this shit to each other. He's like, hey, man, why you doing this shit, man? He said, they told him, you don't understand, man. He said something about me, man. So he got a job.
Niggas are stupid.
Niggas, man.
That's childish.
But that's where they want you at. Yeah. Keep reading.
In the Haggerty.
So, yep. I think when you look them up, they're Ishmaelites too.
Gabal. Yep.
Gabal are Edomites. When you read that, when you look it up, I think Gabal is a place in Edom. Look it up in the blue letter. Look it up, brother. Yep. Gabal. Yeah. Real quick. But look this stuff up, man, because these tribes, man, these other nations got tribes too. Right?
Can I add something while you look that up?
Got it, bro.
This is Leviticus 26 and 17. It says, and I will set my face against you, and he shall be slain before your enemies. That they that hate you shall reign over you, and he shall flee when none pursue it.
Break it down, brother.
You know what I'm saying? You know, like the brothers been on the list, you know, I mean, from Edomites and Ishmaelites, all those are enemies that hate us. It's not above us.
That's part of the curses. To have these people ruling over us like this is a curse. That's not a blessing. And we shouldn't be trying to unite with these people, man, because they don't want to unite with you, man. That's right.
Even when you see a cop, you know what I mean, you kind of
like, oh shit.
Afraid, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And that's every Jake. So let them blueberries and cherries roll up behind you, man. You ain't did shit. Your paperwork is good.
Paperwork is straight.
Everything is straight, but now it's like, oh fuck. Don't be driving somebody else's car, because then it's like your heart's racing out of your chest. Because you don't know if this person's shit's together. Your license might be together, but yo, man, you throwing up prayers to your Gmshawaii in there, man. I mean, I was rolling down a checkpoint down Allegheny. They had an alcoholic checkpoint. And I was like, man, fuck. I had a little taste, a little drink, couple shots, whatever. I was scared, but I threw the prayers up. I knew my paperwork and shit was good, but through the spirit of your Gmshawaii, you just never know with these people, man. And look, the Lord showed me mercy, man. The Jake in front of me got pulled over. They took this nigga's car. The cop was driving it, man.
Damn.
The cop that nigga got out the car. The cop jumped and looked around and jumped in the car, man. And drove. He parked it, but he parked it up. He told me, go ahead, man. He said, hey, man, you got a, what he said? I want to say, he said, you got a blessing tonight. I was like, I sure did. While y'all about to they got what they wanted and what they needed.
Yeah, like I said, these things don't go down in these other neighborhoods and stuff, in the greater Northeast and none of that. Even out Allegheny and stuff, like I said, that's a dead zone, man. It's super dark, and they just use Jake as a prey, you know? So, ready for that word for Gabal, it's actually a Hebrew word, Gabal, which means a boundary. And then when you go into it, it's an actual region in Idumea.
Yes, there it is. So not only you read the list again, start from the top of the list.
Long. It says verse 6, the tabernacles of Edom.
Which is all the houses of Edom. Those different tribes of Edom. Yes, I know. All the houses, every last Edomite. We hear about the famous ones like Amalek and Teman. Teman, those are the Germans. Amalek are the so-called Jews, or the small ants, Slakia. Those people are JJs. But you got other ones too, the ball. It
says Edom and the Ishmaelites.
Edom. So in the Ishmaelites, all the Ishmaelite tribes, they got a name for you. They talk bad about you, man. You niggas go over there and bang your head 7 times a day to Ali Akbar, and them niggas don't even want you over there. You know what I'm saying?
Or Moab.
The so-called Chinese, all the tribes of Chinese, man. Go ahead.
And the Haggerty.
Yep. Who the Haggerties? Go to
Yeah, you don't even got to go to Mecca for them to discriminate against you. All you got to do is go on one of these masjids and try to line your feet up with theirs, and they'll keep moving it away from you. And you wondering why they moving their feet away from you. The whole time they hate you because you're a Jake.
A nigga gets so deep in Islam, he get deeper than Ishmael, man. And you think this is your brother, you listen to Malcolm X talking that bullshit, them niggas your brother. And I actually was in Muslim countries. I was in Iraq, where them niggas actually pray 5 times a day. That shit go off. The car stop, bro. Any way they need to, them niggas get out there, get that dusty ass rug, and get the bang of their head on the sand, man. Real talk. You niggas think that you super Muslim now, but let a Jake get in there, and niggas gonna take their neck up, wipe it off, and move away from you and shit, man. You know
Exactly.
it's really like that. Because you're not one of them. And Allah is not your God. Jake had to learn Allah through violence, man. Before you niggas was converting in prison houses, Muhammad and them, they were forcing Jake by the sword to convert to that bullshit ass religion, man. You know? Now everybody want to talk all nice about Muhammad. Before they say Muhammad name, they say some bullshit, something Russell. I don't fucking know. I hate Islam, man. I hate that shit because look at the city, bro. Niggas are humble down for these Islam.
Yeah.
You bitches will put on clothes for Islam. Yeah. You Jakes, man, you'll start bowing down and humbling and shit. You'll grow a beard for Islam, man. But you won't do it for your how was shy, man. That's a spit in his face. How the fuck? Like, I told you niggas in the scriptures, man, grow your beard. Ali Akbar, you niggas is in jail covering your ass. Now you bring that shit home. Now you got the biggest beards in the world, man. Fuck out of here, man. And Islam just let you niggas, like it says in Isaiah chapter 30, it says they put a spirit upon themselves to add iniquity upon iniquity, man. Because like the brother said, ain't no rules in Islam for you niggas, man.
In the holy city, not in Mecca. We are the holy city.
No, we are the holy city, Jerusalem. Our people, we are the holy city. That's right. And not even the physical place, Jerusalem, man, because that place is not holy right now.
And the crazy part, you got a nigga saying what? Islam is the black man's religion.
Ha!
This is Psalms 83, and verse 7. You get the Hagarenes?
Yep. Oh, the Hagarene. So Hagarene, they go actually to a Hagarite or a member of a certain Arabian clan.
Yeah, it is. So them fucking Arabs, man. Not just because the word Arab is being mixed. Them motherfucking Ishmaelites, they got mixed up with the Midianites. Yep. They got mixed up with their other tribes, man. Yep. And then even in Iraq, bro, they got some called white Iraqis and black Iraqis. The white Iraqis, those are ones that kind of look tan and shit. Not tan, but like light brown. Them niggas. And then you got the dark Iraqis, which are the Jakes down there. And they get treated like hell down there, man. For real, they call them, there's a whole difference between them. Because they don't like you, man. They don't want you around. If they can have it their way, they will have you off this earth, man. But they need you here because they need a workforce. Just like in the kingdom of heaven, we're going to need a workforce. Which is some other nations. That one sister had that vision. She said that the Edomites, she could see the Edomites behind the gate, and they hated us, man. And we hated them. But we loved each other, man. You don't need no fucking friends amongst these nations. One thing I like about what John Howard Clark said, man, he's an old demon that's in the spirit world, but this nigga said, amongst these nations, you have no friends, man. We got 12 brothers, man. I got more than enough brothers around here, man. What the fuck I need friends for, man? My real friends are my brothers. That's what the word friend means anyway. And the Lord tried to get you to understand that he gave us all these variations of Israelites so that you wouldn't have no need to go across the borders and fuck these other nations, man. Like that, man. They know you want universal love, you can get it right here, man. Starting with the elect, man.
That's right.
Okay? So all that shit about we need to be one people, no, we one people, man.
Yeah, and then when you join these other nations' gods, you worship their other gods, you still don't get the benefits because you can't get 7. You don't see no Jake around here, Muslims with 7 wives, with a whole palace somewhere. You don't got no oil money. You broke just like the rest of us, suffering from the same curses.
The elder in GMS, Arkansas, Yacon, big bro in Arkansas, he said he used to be in Islam back in the day. He said cats over here, they don't do the real Islam.
Yeah, come on.
He said they don't know about the 7 pillars and all that. They don't do the real Islam. And he said he was actually over there with the actual sheiks, princes and stuff like that. And they told him, see those women over there, that group of women, you can't deal with them. You can deal with the other ones, the lesser of that nation. But he said that group of women right there, you can't deal with them. You see that? So they know it's a difference.
There's a separation, man. And all nations have a separation. And Ishmael, his sons, they still practice some of the old ways that our forefather Abraham taught their father, man. You know, and that's why when you sit amongst them, you'll never see their wives, man. They'll invite you to dinner, you'll sit on the floor and eat, but you ain't gonna see no women. That food's gonna already be there. Then the wife gonna let the husband know you have to go in now, and he gonna go in. You ain't gonna see the wives or nothing. You ain't gonna see the daughters because they don't want you to have no part in that, man. But when they come to our daughters, man, they fucking on them, making tears. As soon as the Aki store closed at night, man, they come sneak one of them right in the bed, getting bust down.
And then once you visit, in order for you to visit their country, you gotta have a visa. And once your visa expires, you gotta come back over here and continue to get Esau foot up your ass.
You gotta get out, man. And that's everywhere in the country. In the world, man. You can't stay nowhere forever, man. In the ancient world, man, we could part business where we wanted to. They wanted us to do business with them and stay amongst them. But our forefathers like, nah, I gotta go. Well, first of all, these niggas is off. And they knew that they were gonna be corrupted as long as they're around them. So they had to get up out of it. You gotta have it.
That's right. Verse 7. Jabal and Ammon.
Ammon is the so-called Japanese. The so-called Japanese are the Ammonites, man. And they definitely don't like the Jakes, man. Go ahead.
And Amalek.
And Amalek, the so-called Jew. Another tribe of Edom. The top tribe of Edom, actually. Go ahead.
The Philistines with the inhabitants of Tyre.
Well, the Philistines are the fucking Hamites, man. And the original Tyrenians, they used to be Hamitic, man. And so Ishmael got over there, and then eventually Esau got over there. So all them nations, they all together, and they are those are the major ones, man. You notice they ain't mentioned Japheth, okay? Japheth, them motherfuckers are in Hawaii right now, beating on the fucking drum, switching the fire, man. You know what I'm saying? Being entertaining. But they going down too. All you nations, all you heathen nations, you're going to be our perpetual servants for eternity, man. Except for that first 1,000 years, that's the only time you ain't going to get no check. We ain't get no check, you ain't get some gold in the kingdom. But you're going to get paid before the sun go down, all that other stuff. But don't think about that now. You're thinking too far ahead. Wait till you get in the captivity under us, man. And then we're gonna make you breathe. And y'all, just like y'all did us. I saw one elder put a video up about a Jake. He had over 200 kids. You know what I'm saying? 200 by force, man. They said this man had to fuck every day, man. I can't even fuck every day, man. One thing, we got the Sabbath. Still, I'm a man. I'm in this flesh. You know what I'm saying? But they forced this man to have sex, man. He was a breeder. They showed that to you in that movie, Goodbye Uncle Tom. You know, they had the Jake.
Oh yeah,
he was looking all bugged out.
He was acting all crazy.
Yeah. He was the buck, man. We gonna have y'all nations as bucks, man. You men. You gonna only procreate with your women, man. We gonna give you the fattest, the ugliest, the stinkiest pieces of shit women that you got. Y'all got many of them, and y'all gonna procreate with that. And y'all gonna make us some slave kids, strong ones, man, good ones. That's right, man. All you nations, man, because in reality, we're not the workers of this earth. The heathens are. Those people that are ganging up on us, man, those are the servants, man.
You say Moab is my wash pot.
That's right. They're gonna wash them pots, like King Masha said, man. You're gonna wash them floors, man. You're gonna scrub them floors. I don't care what you do. You're gonna scrub them floors. I love that. I always hear him saying that off that video, because he was telling the truth. Moab, you're gonna wash some pots. You ain't making nobody food. Fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna get some of them heathen men of the other nations to prepare those meals, man. That was it on that?
No, verse 8, it says, Assur, the Assyrians.
Oh, the Assyrians, yeah. We ain't forget about you. We ain't forget about you like my man Ving Rhames said in that movie, man. I ain't forgot about you by far sight. I ain't done with you by far sight. I'm getting medieval in your ass, man. So you Assyrians, man. Hey, yo, them Assyrians put hell on Jake, bro. Especially the Northern Kingdom, bro. The Asher Butt Nipples, all them niggas. Yeah, them niggas put hell on our people. His name is Asher Butt Nipples, but I was being facetious. But yeah, he put hell on our people. What's that nigga? Shalmaneser? The fifth, fourth, third, all them niggas. Oh, they put hell on our people, man. It was so bad that we were scared to go in captivity under the Assyrians, man.
Well, that's who it was in the book of Judith. That Nebuchadnezzar. But you gotta understand, it's a lot of kings with those titles.
Yep.
And when you go into what king killed the Median king during that war, the first chapter, that had to have been Ashurbanipal. Some people say Ashurbanipal. When you look him up, he was a demon towards Israel, man. This man was so great that he fought against lions, man. He got in chariots and shooting lions with spears and all types of stuff. He put hell on Israel, man.
They put a complete hell on our people, man. And you know what I'm saying? So what you think going to happen when Yahweh Shah raise us up? And that's their fear. That's why they are confederate with each other, man. Because they scared of the Israelite men, yeah? That's why they put hell on you from the womb, man. And in the womb. If you find out he got a boy, right now, y'all think those gender reveals are for the fun, you know, for the bullshit aspect, the celebratory aspect. In reality, you letting Esau know what you having, man. Yeah, Beyonce give a fucking gender reveal on stage. Girls, you know, because she's all feminist out and shit. Talking about congratulations, which is congratulations if you get a child from the Lord, obviously. But the point of the matter is that you telling Esau what you have so they can get rid of you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, got a pressure real quick. This is 2 Thessalonians chapter 1, verse 6. Seeing it is a righteous thing with the Most High to recompense tribulation to them that trouble you. Right? And so, like the brothers are going through the history, all right, that was at that time and this time, because these nations are still troubling us. Okay? The attempt to try to separate us from our power, all right, whether it's biological warfare, all right, whether it's agreeing to sell these different GMO foods, okay? They're all in agreement to try to cut us off from being a nation in various ways, okay? And that still continues to this day. The ancient kings of these nations did it, right? And these nations that are confederate with each other, those are what we consider the chief of the nation. And they didn't get that way, okay, by just simply doing the right thing. No, they had to take backdoor deals, okay, amongst themselves to do different levels of wickedness. Okay, they committed fornication, okay, with this place. That's why they sell their wares here. They've done multitudes of wickedness, right? To become rich. But the main thing that they did was come against the nation of Israel. Right? But they have to pay for that. So it's a righteous thing for the Lord to pay them back with the trouble that they're going to receive, the different judgments that are, right? They're going to have the curses put on them, right? And then they're going to have the Israelite men and women, okay, dealing with them accordingly. And it says, right, it says, seeing it is a righteous thing with the Most High to recompense tribulation to them that trouble you, and to you who are troubled, rest us. When the Lord Yahweh shall be revealed from heaven with his mighty angels. Right? And that's going to be the game changer. Yahweh is going to set everything right through that judgment. Through that judgment. Right? That's going to be the conclusion. You know, and those that are going to rest with us meaning what? The truth. The truth is our rest, our comfort, our refuge. The names of our power is the truth. Okay? And the refuge that we have. So we throwing the line out there for those who would believe. Join back onto our power so they can be a part of that salvation. You know? Because that's where the rest is going to be ultimately. You're not going to find no rest here. Or in another country being the passport for. You might get some temporary relief. But overall, you're not going to find rest for your soul.
That hell's coming.
Yeah,
right?
he say
you can only do so much for the flesh. That's why the scriptures tell you the flesh profiteth nothing. At the end of the day, it's not going to gender everlasting life. It ain't going to gender salvation. You can't buy your way into the kingdom. Right? No amount of money, riches, and anything else that you do in this life is not going to get you into the kingdom. It's a very specific way the Lord is wanting us to go in order to receive that consolation. And furthermore, it's got to be, you got to be of the elect.
That's right.
You know? When we look at things, we analyze things, the flesh truly profited nothing. It's corruptible. It's constantly needing something.
That's right.
Right? And the only thing that really satisfies us is this word, this truth, the comfort. How about Yahweh? So that's why we got to strive to look on for something better where we're going to be made perfect. And we're never going to be left wanting anything. That's coming.
Like, you know, going in that spirit, just like the scripture says, man may not live by bread alone.
That's it.
But by every word.
Salaki. The word friend, when you look at the word friend, it goes back to the word companion. And you know what the word companion means? One who breaks bread. That's a spiritual thing among J. Oh, we're breaking bread. Right? But what's the truth breaking of the bread? Right?
That's right, going over this word, going over this, like the brother quoted, man shall not live by bread alone, by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of the Most High. Right? And even more spiritual, Yahweh Shai offered up his body as a living sacrifice. Right? Which was likened unto what? Bread being broken, his blood being spilled, drinking of the blood, right? So the real breaking of the bread is getting together with brothers and going over this word and teaching and edifying. That's really true friends, right? Even the Lord said, he made a distinction when he said, I no longer call you servants, for a servant does not know what his master doeth, but I call you friends. Because the Lord let us in on the note according to the will of the Heavenly Father. So we know we had these precious promises. We know we have these understanding of the prophecies. Right? That's the real breaking of the bread right there, man.
Hey, well, you know what?
Real kinship.
Like, you made a point when you was at the DC camp. Like, your friends are gonna look out for you.
Yeah.
So we're a friend of Yahweh Shalom Shai. We good.
Yeah.
Think about that. You know, Yahweh Shalom Shai said, that's my friend. He's gonna get you through all the tribulation that's coming, right onto that chariot. And that's what we're looking for, man. We're looking to be what? Friends of Yahweh Shalom Shai. We want to, like when the Heavenly Father said to Satan, he said, have you considered my servant Job? We want to be looked at like that towards Yahweh Shalom Shai. And the Lord is saying, that's my servant, man. Yeah. Consistently good. That's my friend. Abraham was a friend of the Most High. You see, that's what we want to get, man. All right? And let me get 2nd Ezra 6.
Press like out real quick. I got companion in the etymology. Now it says one who accompanies or associates with another. All right? And what's our association with one another? What's the common bind? It's this word, it's truth, it's knowledge, it's understanding, the spirit of Yahweh by Yahweh Shai. The Lord is willing to be a part of that body, right? We'll read on a little further. It says fellow, mate, friend, partner, from late Latin. Literally bread fellow, right? Come together with bread or to feed. Now what did Yahweh Shai tell Peter if he loved him? Feed my sheep, feed my lambs. So I just kind of, in the spirit of time, like you said, we want to be recognized by Yahweh Shai, like Job is recognized, right? Through our works, through our integrity, through our faith.
And one of the miracles, what did Yahweh Shai do? The breaking of the bread and the fish, right?
Oh, yeah.
But see, Yahweh Shai didn't give it just to the people. He handed it to his disciples, and then his disciples gave it to the people. That's the same thing that he's doing right now. He handed his bread to the servants, the prophets, and then the servants, the prophets give it to the people. So another thing while you're amongst brothers is what? Listen to the words of Yahweh Shalom Shai that's coming through me. That's what you got to do. Like another thing we said at the DC camp, what good is being around your bros if you're not willing to listen to them? When you're going off and the brother's telling you that you're going off, hearken to him. Because that's coming from on high. If you constantly being amongst bros and they constantly getting on you over and over and over about the same things, what good is you being around the brothers? Because brothers is coming at you with all love and sincerity, telling you what you're doing, telling you to get right. That's what, listen to it. Because it's coming from on high. All right? Go ahead, bro. Yeah, Sloppy, go ahead, bro.
And this is the book of John 15:15. Henceforth I call you not servants, for the servant knoweth not what his Lord doeth. But I have called you friends, for all things that I have heard of my Father, I have made known unto you.
That's beautiful. I have called you friends. All right? So if you're a friend of Yahweh Shai, you think, again, your personal friend that you have, you think you're going to let anything happen to him?
Yep.
You're
looking out for him.
You're going to help him. Yep. If there's destruction coming, come on now. You brothers, be friends, man. You see your brother around the corner, something about to happen to him, you're going to run to him.
Isn't there a scripture, Slaki, in the book of Proverbs that says that there is a friend better than a brother, something like that?
There's an apocrypha. There's a friend that's
I think it's in the book of Proverbs. I think it's in the book of Proverbs. You know, basically because why? The scriptures, this truth, the word, it all comes first. So when you get a man who's got that same mind, you know, you got that man has your best interest in heart. He's reflecting on the things that Yahweh Shai did. What the past brothers did, right? As a means of building up their character. That's what you want to emulate.
Right? This is Proverbs 18 and 24.
I mean, it's 18. Yeah, 18.
Yeah, Proverbs 18 and 24 says, A man that have friends must show himself friendly
Yeah,
if there is a friend that's sticking closer than a brother.
Oh, that's it. But I think there's another verse that popped
Because a
up.
real friend, your real family, like
Which one you typing?
we said earlier, the men that are
Type in,
Better.
this is a commonality. We striving to get the hell up out of here by the means that
type
the
in,
Lord
Apostle.
Al-Bashir imparted. You know? And you got brothers in the mindset that if they had to, they'll lay their life down for a brother, man. Right? Real talk. That's why you got men, somebody hostile come to the camp. You got certain brothers, they don't even hesitate. Right up, man. They don't hesitate. And that's the spirit making that man, you know that's a friend. And a friend may be known in what? Troubled times. Right? That's when you can separate a friend from an enemy. The enemy,
I guess
they want to
Proverbs
stick
is
around
one
for
of
good
the
times.
one. Maybe I'm
You know?
confusing Proverbs with
The feast stand and the money and all the good things. But when things get rough and hard
Is
and
it
down to
some-
the
like
nitty-gritty,
Ecclesiastes
then you're gonna really see your friends on. Who gonna come at you and support you at your
Might be
lowest
somewhere around
time?
there, I'm thinking.
Like you said, you know, when a brother, you know, get on you, that's love. That's really love, man. You know? It's like if I'm
No,
wrong.
you know, that's why we pray that we're of the elect, and we're of the hopeful elect. You know, at the end of the day, we pray that we get delivered, but we don't know yet. Because going into that aspect, when hell and tribulation happen, then you're going to see who's your real friend, who's been following you, how about Shemal Shah. And I'm talking about the brothers with garments. See, none of us have been to that spot where it says that it's going to be a time like never before. Right now, we're being prepared for that, spiritually. And that's the only way we can prepare for a time that's coming like never before seen on the planet Earth. All right? But we don't know how our character is going to be during those times. Because remember, the Heavenly Father controls everything. We just pray that we are on that same path from now all the way to the kingdom. All right? Because the scripture said, blessed is he that endureth temptation. All right? So we just pray that we're of that elect to make it, man. Because when tribulation and trouble happens, man, then we're going to see who is the men of the Lord. You got that? Sirach 67? You had something out?
Yeah,
Go ahead, brother. Go ahead,
Just
get
real quick, Sirach 12 in verse 8, a friend cannot be known in prosperity.
Yup, when you're doing good, your real friends cannot be known. All right? It's like Floyd Mayweather. He got all those people around him. Yeah, like the money team. I think 50 Cent, because they was friends, he talked about Floyd. He said Floyd is one of them dudes that he just give you money to kind of keep you around. He said that about Floyd Mayweather. So, of course, all them people are going to be around him, because why? He's the money team, the money man. All right, but if he were to lose everything, are they going to be around him? You notice these celebrities like Flavor Flav and all these niggas, all right, they're celebrity in name, but since they have no substance now, because they lost everything, people kind of make fun of him. They kind of shut him because he has no substance. But wait a minute, what happened to everybody praising him and being his friend? What's his name? MC Hammer. Did things for everybody. But the moment he went down, what? Did people help him out? No. All right.
He could have said a song called, Aaron Mervin and the Brewers had a song called Where Are My Friends?
Yeah.
It was like, he said, when I had all that money, but I left my cologne out, they never gave it back, but now that I need something, where are they at?
Yeah. Straight up. And read that again, huh?
Yep. It's Sirach chapter 12 and 10. Sorry, 12 and that was verse 8. It says a friend cannot be known in prosperity, and an enemy cannot be hidden in adversity.
Yeah, because when you go through your hell, then you will see who your enemies are. Case in point, you're going to see enemies of these other Israelite groups, man. All right? As soon as all hell and tribulation start, they're going to be right there to say, yeah, they did it. It's the same thing. The righteous men are coming in what? The body of Yahushua. And the scripture says there's no new thing under the sun. So guess what? Those other groups, they represent them wicked Israelites that was saying, crucify him, crucify him. So now that you got the righteous men coming in the true body of Yahushua, what makes you think they're not going to do that again? And I'm talking about ones that know that they're Israelites. There's nothing new under the sun. When all hell breaks loose, watch, you're going to have other Israelite groups that are wicked. All right, they're going to come out and say, yeah, them GMS guys, they did this. Yeah, they did that. Why? Because we make up the body of Yahushua. All right, go ahead.
Verse 9, it says, in prosperity of a man, enemies will be grieved, but in his adversity, even a friend will depart.
Yeah, read that part again.
Fine.
In the prosperity of a man, what it says, enemies will be grieved.
Yep.
That's why Esau can't stand that we got this knowledge. Years ago, what the apostle said, people rode up to him in a limousine. They got out the limousine and said, yo, we paid millions of dollars for you not to get this knowledge. Then they jumped back in the limousine and took off. That lets you know that we got the truth. All right, we just got to hold on to it, because you have the enemy that's grieved that we got this knowledge. Esau, like the brothers was going to into the spirit, Esau don't want this. He don't want this unity. He don't want the different tribes that look like, phenotypically, as they say, they look like the different tribes, like the Ephraimites, the Issacharites, and stuff like that, the Gadites. They don't want them to get together with the so-called Negroes. They don't want that. When we get together, remember, in Obadiah, it's going to be like a flame. All right? And we're going to burn these heathen up, man. In time to come. Go ahead.
It says, but in his adversity, even a friend will depart.
Yeah, in his adversity, even a friend, a so-called friend. It says friend, but a so-called friend will depart. That's why at the end of the day, it's about what? Being what? A believer of Yahweh Shai. All right, that's what we were talking about earlier, right? Y'all get that? Matthew 12, the last verse. At the end of the day, it's about the belief in Yahweh Shai. It's about the elect. See?
Yeah, it's easy to be somebody's friend when it's popping.
Yep.
It's or so-called friend when it's popping. But when you asked out, when you need, you know, when you shit, it ain't about what you need, about financially or material. You might be going through something with your family or something, or your kids or something like that, and you might be crying. And brothers is there to rub your shoulder, like, hey man, go ahead, it's fine, man. We with you. That's what the brothers up in New York did for me. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta be there. You gotta be in the spirit of like, yo, I'm with you regardless, bro.
Right.
We up right now because we got jobs and we can eat and we could go to work or we can go with our families. Or hey, some of you brothers might lose your jobs in that day and time. And brothers gonna be there for you then too. That's why I said my service gonna eat. You know what I mean? Because we're gonna be sharing. Niggas is not sharing nothing with nobody out here.
Nobody.
You know what I'm saying? And a nigga in the truth ain't gonna be sharing nothing with nobody.
But you made a good point. That key word. You said I'm with you no matter what. Bro. Brother. All right, let's get that. Matthew 12 in the last verse. Got it.
This is the book of Matthew 12, verse 50. It says, for whosoever shall do the will of my Father, which is in heaven, the same as my brother and sister and mother.
See that? Whosoever doeth the will of the Father in heaven, the same as my what? My brother, sister, and mother. That's your true family. Your family that you got now, your physical family, guess what? That's your carnal family. All right? Your carnal family, you didn't choose them. You didn't have a choice. You was born into that. This one you're choosing based off the spirit of Yahweh Shai. Okay? Your carnal family ain't telling you stop using drugs, stop smoking, all right? Harming your body, all right? Stop eating abominable foods, as the brothers went over earlier, all right? Stop sleeping with your brother's wife and all this stuff, man. Your actual family ain't telling you that. But guess what? People that look like they're complete strangers to you are telling you not to do that. We're showing you more love than your actual family. Why? Because we're coming from the spirit on high, man. We're telling you to get right. All right, read that again.
Yeah, this is the book of Matthew 12, verse 50. It says, for whosoever shall do the will of my Father.
And you know what the will, that's why I had him read it again. What's the will of the Father? All right, what's the will of the Father? Can I get, John, you can drop that. John 6 and 39. Shot. That's why it's important. That's why it's important for people to hearken to the voice of the men of the Lord, man. But we speaking from on high to get you right back with the Heavenly Father. Because at the end of the day, it's a lot here, brother. Because at the end of the day, the Lord is going to what? Gather his elect. So it's about the elect. You see? That's why whoever gets that word and they understand it and they come back to the Lord, it don't matter what they look like. All right? It don't matter what they look. They can look like an actual other nation. But if they believe and they come back to the Lord, guess what? They're going to be delivered. All right? Go ahead, Al.
Hey, John 6 and 39. And this is the Father's will which has sent me, that of all which he hath given me, I shall lose nothing.
See, all that the Lord have, the Heavenly Father have given his son Yahushua, he's not going to lose anything. So Yahweh friends are going to be taken with him, man. When we were just talking about the friends thing, if you're a friend of Yahweh, guess what? You're going to be hooked up. All right, he's going to hook his boy up, so to speak. You see that? Go ahead.
And this is the Father's will which have sent me, that of all which he hath given me, I should lose nothing, but should raise it up again at the last day.
Raise it up again at the last day. We're going to be delivered. Go ahead.
And this is the will of him that sent me.
This is verse 40. Now, this is the actual will of him that sent you, Yahweh. Go ahead.
That everyone which seeth the Son and believeth on him may have everlasting life, and I will raise him up at the last day.
So that's the ultimate will of the Father. The ultimate will of the Father is to what? Believe on the Son. See, everything goes to Yahweh, man. All right? Everything was put on Yahweh's shoulders. He's the ultimate sacrifice, our big brother. All right, so we have to, that scripture right there links up with John 3:16 that they like to give. You see, but that's the actual will of the Father, is to believe on the Son. Believing in his sacrifice, believing that he came. Also believing that what? He's coming back the same way he left.
And he raised us up in this last day by what? The Christians will tell you, like, you're going to get out the ground. No, he raised us up out of this world, man, that we were already in. Because this is the last day.
Yeah, that's right.
This is the very last day. Okay? And after this is when it's going to be shown. When them chariots crack the sky, you see right now they talking about the UFOs, and everybody got to, either you got people saying that the aliens, so-called aliens landed and whatnot, and these newscasters can't help but deliver, because that's a sign. He said when all these things come to pass, look up, for your salvation draweth nigh. And our salvation is drawing nigh. We can't help but look up in a world where everybody's looking down.
Yeah. And what did the Lord say? He comes in the volume of the book, right? He's all over the book. Another scripture in John, the 1st chapter, talks about he's the Word. Yeah. You know what's included in the Word? Prophecy. Also believing on it. Look, Yahweh is prophecy. The spirit of prophecy. Also believing on the prophecy, how the Lord said it was going to happen. You see? The Lord said he was coming back to deliver the elect of Israel. He's going to do that. Yep. The reason why I said that, you got jokers out there that don't believe that the Lord is coming back the same way he left. All right? They can't foresee that. Why? Because all the hell that they're catching in the world. So what? They're calling upon themselves now. There must be another solution other than what's written, because we don't see it happening. You see? And guess what? If you lost patience, you're going to be destroyed. You see? All right, now, let me get that one story. What do we have?
Still got Sirach 6.
This is Sirach 6, huh?
Nah, this is Sirach 6 and 7. It says, if thou wouldest get a friend, prove him first.
See, if thou wouldest get a friend, a brother, a true brother, okay, a companion, you're supposed to prove him first. All right? And that's how we are to be friends of Yahweh Shai, because we're going to be proven and tested first. That's right. You see? Go ahead.
It says, if thou wouldest get a friend, prove him first, and be not hasty to credit him.
And be not hasty to credit him. Why? Because he hasn't really been put to the test. Really put his ass to the test to see if he's your true friend. And that's what the Lord is doing to us, man. Hey, 2020 showed a lot. I'm talking about people that believed. People that believed in Yahweh Shah was right. All right? That was a starter test. How much more so for the times to come? Again, that's why we got to constantly pray that we stay on that mark all the way up until that, man. That, going to the end. All right?
In a Good News translation, it says, when you make friends, don't be too quick to trust them. Make sure that they have proved themselves. Some people will be your friends only when it is convenient for them, but they won't stand by you in trouble.
Case in point, when Israel was doing good, Israel was good. Right? When Israel was doing good by Yahweh Shai, Israel was good, right? The moment he puts us through a little hell, that's when they start turning their back on him. What did they do? What did they do in Jeremiah? What is that? Jeremiah 44? They made cakes to the Queen of Heaven. What did they do? They said, we're going to worship this, because since we worship this, we've had plenty of victories. You see that?
Not realizing that those victories came from the Lord. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Go ahead,
You know what I'm saying? And at that time, they knew of the Lord.
They knew. They said his name.
Yeah, that's right. They
even said his name. See? But guess what? They felt as though if we worship this, we're going to be blessed. Not knowing that still came from the Lord. You see that?
Yeah, the heathens, they attribute everything they have to their idols. And we attribute everything we have to our power, our Shai. The Lord said riches and poverty come from him. You know what I'm saying? So Jake didn't know, or they didn't know, but they ignored it. They said, you know what? Look at the heathen. We get the same they get. So it must be Isis, or it must be the Queen of Heaven. But and Jeremiah was cussing him out like, no, nigga, it's coming from Yahweh by shot. Back then it was Yahweh, but we know through his son. So listen, man, nigga, it was coming from the Lord. But he was like, nah, all you say we're gonna do this. Because since we left off from worshiping Yahweh, this is what we got.
Yeah. That's why the brothers went to the whole, going to the wheat and the tares. There's the spiritual tear as well. Israelites that don't believe in Yahweh Shem Shai, even though they're Israelites. That's the spiritual tear. The scripture also says you have your father the devil. Yeah. Now those spiritual tears are following what? The ways of what? Esau. What was Esau's whole MO from the jump? When he went out into the field and he came back and he was hungry, what did he want? He wanted food right then and there. He could have waited. He could have had patience. Remember, when he ate the food, he ate the red meat, the lentils, and bread.
Right. He wanted that instant relief, instant gratification.
He wanted that instant relief. He wanted, essentially, he wanted that meat.
Right.
That instant gratification right then and there. The Lord ain't dealing with that.
Right.
So for them Jakes, that, oh man, the Lord ain't come back. The Lord, he ain't come back when I want him to. Man, look, you got the spirit of Esau on you.
Exactly.
Same thing, man. All right?
Yeah, I just want to say a few words in that same book that I was quoting about, and it's in the book of John, we can get it, where it says that I no longer call you servants but friends. And it's important to mention that before that verse, the Lord said that, let me just get it, that there's no greater thing than when a friend laid down his life. He was referring to himself spiritually because of what he was getting ready to do. The scripture said that we were bought with a price. So imagine your friend laid down his life, right? Now how are you going to follow through on it? By turning your back on him? Because right now, let's say it for what it is. We got the conveniences, everything. We come out here, it's cool, right, for the most part. When it's not cool to be an Israelite anymore, persecution comes. Where's your integrity going? Right? And I'm saying that I'm saying that in a general sense. Okay? Where's your faith going to be at? Are you going to sell yourself out for those dainties, for those things that the enemy's coming with, to take off that edge, to try to ease that pain that's coming? Or are you going to wait on the Lord for something greater? Because you mentioned, one of y'all brothers mentioned, we were given the greatest gift that could ever be given through the sacrifice of Yahushua, which is the riches, the true riches of the world, which is this truth, which is going to lead on to everlasting life.
And it's the lottery.
Yeah, there's nothing that you can compare to that.
Yeah, it's the lottery. We talking about.
Yeah,
I know I play that Mega Millions and all that other bullshit. Yeah. But in reality, bro, we got billions and billions of our people on this planet.
That's what I'm saying.
And out of all them billions of people, we got this word, man.
There you go.
Yeah, if the Lord didn't have me in Hawaii, I'd have been here in Philadelphia. If it was the Lord's will for me to be in the shoot, then right here. You know what I'm saying? And you might look at it like, well, all these brothers from Philly, they in it. No, brother, it's millions of our people here, bro. Yeah. It's millions of people. I think it's like over 4 million people in this city alone. You know what I mean? And out of all them people, the Lord broke you brothers up wherever he was in this planet to get this truth. So that's like getting the lottery, bro. That's literally like, because I think like your chance to win in a Mega Million is 1 in 326 million. You know what I'm saying, bro? So your chances of getting in this truth and being in the truth and lasting and staying in the truth is even higher because it's billions of our people on the earth.
Golden ticket.
I just want to highlight, most importantly, the sacrifice that was Yahushua. That sacrifice.
He got that precept.
Okay, beautiful. Go ahead and read it. That's the scripture.
John chapter 15, verse 12. This is my commandment, that ye love one another.
Right. And love is an action word. Not just a sentiment you feel to something. If you do feel sentimental about something, you reinforce it with action. That's what you do. You reinforce it with the belief, or the mindset, or the idea that you have in your mind, or that feeling you have towards it that you show. Okay? Go ahead. Because the Lord said that His love is likened unto what? The keeping of the commandments. Yep. It's action. Something you actually do. Go ahead.
Salah, can he start it? Can he start it on at 11?
Yeah.
Let me start at 11.
Yeah. But I don't want the brother to lose his points. So it's spiritual. Yeah, it is. Yeah, good.
John chapter 15, verse 11. These things have I spoken unto you, that my joy might remain in you, and that your joy might be full. This is my
But your joy might be full. Because having a true brother, your joy is full. If you're having a false brother, you don't have any joy.
Verse 12. This is my commandment, that ye love one another, as I have loved you. Greater love hath no man than this.
Yeah, the Lord humbled him. Even though the Lord was great, the Lord constantly humbled himself before his disciples. And we're in that same lot. We're supposed to humble ourselves before our brother, right? To help them in their need, right? Give them proper counsel, instruction, so that man can continue to be built up if he's sincere. Right? That's what, first of all, the word minister, we're ministers, right? What does the word minister mean?
Serve.
There you go. Go ahead.
Verse 13. Greater love hath no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friends.
And that's exactly what Gmshawaii did. All right? Because really, the Lord, he laid down his life for the elect first. Because all those that are opposed to this truth, or don't repent, turn their back on the Heavenly Father and the Son, Gmshawaii, they're going to have to die those previous deaths. The Lord redeemed us from that if we be his. Right? So you got to weigh all of that out. Like that's when the scriptures talk about wisdom and knowledge and the stability of that times. These are things you got to reflect on. Right? No matter how hard it may be, no matter how tempting, desirable, whatever. That persecution, that gets hot. You see niggas that, you know, you thought they had the spirit or whatever. Now all of a sudden, it's not cool to be an Israelite no more. Trials coming, you know, those allegations. Everybody looking at us. Those guys that used to harass me, right? And they bringing up all types of charges, so on and so forth. Because the Lord said that some of us are going to be tried in prison.
Let's talk about that too.
They're going to be betrayal, right? All sorts of things are going to be happening as these tests. Lord, I hope. Our sins forgiven and an opportunity to get salvation. I just really wanted to highlight, you know, I had talked about brothers, you know, stuff, but what about Gmshawaii most important? Because he's the one that afforded us access back to the Heavenly Father, access to the truth, understanding who we are, you know, grounding us for the time that are about to come, the miracles that are going to be worked too in his name, as a demonstration of his power, you know. Go ahead.
Verse 14. Ye are my friends.
Ye are my friends. So we were liking on his friends. Go ahead.
If ye do whatsoever I command you.
There you go. You went harping on that before in the spirit. The will. The will. That's what this whole thing's about.
I know you gotta go get
Even when it comes down to our own lives, we gotta separate ourselves. Well, I think we're still reading it, right? So we gotta come back to it. Because neither father, mother, brother, sister comes before this word. Not even your own life. Okay? You gotta really let that soak in. You gotta really digest that. Those aren't just words. There's something very impactful.
Well, we're making our life a living sacrifice. Gmshawaii gave his life for us, and we're giving our life for him. This is what this is. He said, make yourself a living sacrifice. So he said, no greater love that a man can give for his friends, that he should give. Roughly paraphrase, there's no greater love that a man can give to his friend or show by giving his life for him. He gave his life for us, we're doing it for him.
Verse 15. Henceforth I call you not servants, for the servant knoweth not what his Lord doeth. But I call you friends, for all things I have heard of my Father I have made known unto you.
That's right. That's right. So we can participate in fulfilling that will. He imparted that understanding unto us. Right? Through his sacrifice, again, we have access to the Father. So we, through Gmshawaii, all things were given unto him, meaning everything. And through that, he then imparted to certain elect brothers the Holy Spirit. Right? then we were elevated, we were given the gift of faith. And then came the understanding of this word through particular men whom the Lord raised up. So we would receive this ministry, we would receive this word. And now it's on us, because we've been called, not yet chosen, but we've been called, so now we got to fulfill our office and commitment to this. I think that was pretty much the point.
So just like again, my brother's harping on, look, the servant is not greater than his master.
Yeah.
If the Lord did it for the nation of Israel, for us to prove that we're friends to him, he's already proven to be the ultimate friend.
Yeah.
For us to prove to be friends to him, what do we got to do? What did brothers say? Give your lives. All right, go ahead and read it, bro.
The second Maccabees chapter 2 and verse 50. It says, now therefore my sons, be zealous for the Torah, the law, and give your lives for the covenant of your fathers.
See, basically give your lives for the covenant of your fathers, for this word, essentially now. All right, and who's the word? Yahushua. Okay, so now we got to give up what? Our life, okay, be what? A living sacrifice? Hey, actually be a dead one too, so to speak. If we got to die for the Lord, we're going to die for the Lord.
Right.
Okay, what does that mean, dying for the Lord? Hey, they might come out and put us to death. Yeah. Talk about Esau, if the Lord allows it. Yeah. Okay, we might get our heads be chopped off. We might die saving a brother's life. All right, these are all different forms of dying for the Lord, man. All right, we've proven to be friends. Okay, not just physically dying, also putting your life on the line. It's being out there, a living sacrifice. Okay, he's already chosen to be a friend, or proven to be a friend to us. We got to prove to be a friend to him. It's none of that whole, I prayed to him and therefore I'm saved bullshit. Right? We have to prove ourselves to him, man. All right?
I just want to raise a real point with Ephesians 6 and 11. We talk about putting on the whole armor of the Most High, right? And then, by extension, we gain the features of the border blue, Cambies. I remember some years back, it was like a 2-month period where we had like a lot of Islamic attacks and stuff. And prior to that, you would see, a lot of Muslims wearing on their garments and their Christian. But when that 2-month period of like 6 Islamic attacks, you stop seeing Muslims, with the garments and with the persecution, they just took died and stuff, because of the persecution.
Yeah.
So, that is going to, come from us. People are going to see, if you're a real brother.
Yeah, and even still, you're going to have brothers, it says in his, I think it's Zechariah, you ain't got to get it, but I think it's Zechariah, it says a prophet, he's not going to wear a rough garment to deceive. You got a lot of cats that's deceiving people, so they're going to take it off. They're going to say you're going to see the marks in his hand, but where you got this from? You got, I got this from, man told me, don't prepare for marks, man told me how to farm or whatever. But no, those scars are going to be those videos. Yeah. Those scars are going to be those times when people saw you standing out here. Those scars are going to be all of that. They're going to be like, wait a minute, a true man of the Lord, well, they're going to keep your mouth shut anyway, like Yahweh Shai. You're going to make us, the Lord might make us dumb in that case. Yeah. But the Spirit will still also have it to where you're going to have a lot of dudes like, no, we got you on camera, man. And they're going to have your videos. All those videos that snap down, they got them in banks in there. They're going to put it out. You. So cats gonna be like, nah, I was, even the dude that fell off. That was my youngest son. I was a part of that, but I've been left that alone. I'm like, no, man, you coming with us, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Last few precepts, bro.
This is on the flip side, because for being tried as a friend of the Lord, you got those that are going to fail that test. And this is what the Lord says to those that are going to fail that test. This is Ecclesiasticus, also known as Sirach, chapter 2, verses 12 through 14. It says, woe be to a fool for heart, faint hands, and the sinner that goes two ways. Woe unto him that is faint-hearted. When we look at the word faint-hearted, it means weak-minded. Okay? So those that fell out, when that time comes, they're gonna be weak. They're gonna be weak-minded, right? All right, so they're gonna give in to Esau. Like, hey, man, I was a part of this thing, so either you're shot down like the rest of them, or you gonna take this, seat. Which one you want to do? Those faint-hearted. You already know what the faint-hearted is gonna do, right? It says, "Woe unto him that is faint-hearted, for he believeth not. Therefore he shall not be defended." So if you don't believe at the end of the day, you
Yeah,
don't have that trust in the Lord. The Lord's not going to defend you. You know, it's like you having a woman.
Yeah, like the whole thing is like spiritual, but yeah, that's the point right
What the
there.
hell? No,
Put that into actual action. When it says you will not be defended, the scripture says in what, Psalm the 34th chapter, that the angels will come around about them, what? That fear him. So in that time when it says you will not be defended, the Lord is going to take his angels off of you. And then guess what? Satan will have his way.
It says in the last one, verse 14, it says, woe unto you that have lost patience. It says, and what will you do when Yahweh Bashim Shai shall visit you? So, you know, to those that lost patience, that they didn't want to wait on the Lord no more, and you said they wanted the Lord to come on their time, they weren't willing to, you know, to suffer that waiting period. What are you going to do when the Lord shows up and like, and you don't, and, you know, have your spiritual garment on? You're just like, what you doing?
Again, they followed the devil, Esau. Esau did that from jump. And what happened when Esau denied, when he took that red meat and everything? What happened? He lost his birthright.
That's right.
So if you want to be on your own time and lose patience, you're going to lose salvation. You're going to lose the promise.
Spider
You
web.
see that? Yeah.
This shot went up fresh.
Yep.
Yeah, it's all over me now.
All right, this book Jeremiah chapter 9 and 4. It says, take ye heed of every one of your neighbor. Or sorry, I'll read it again. Take ye heed of every one of his neighbors, and trust ye not in any brother, for every brother will utterly supplant, and every neighbor will walk with slanders. Alright. Yeah, you're gonna have like, you know, different brothers gonna do different betrayals. You know, that's why we go into the scrutinizing and proving. You know, and that's gonna go, you actually analyzing the brother, you know, seeing his actual conversation or his walk, his course of life, do it actually line up with the scripture. There's a different like way of having where somebody can talk the talk, but action speaks rather than words. You know? So, and we got, of course, that discernment from Yahweh Shai. So, you know, hey, just like how the scriptures talk about how things done in secret is going to be made manifest. Hey, brothers going to be made manifest if they true brothers, and who's that's a false brethren. Because you got many that crept in unawares, you know, feign themselves as honorable men, you know. And then I got the other precept. This is Sirach chapter 4 and 28. It says, strive with striving going to the fight, or contend for the truth unto death, and Yahweh shall fight for you. Right, and that's who's going to fight for us. Yahweh Bashim Shai, who justifies our cause, and that's going to clear us from all, of course, all the slander that's out there, you know. The Lord is the one that's going to maintain our actual name, all right, because the Lord is our what? Our Lord, you know, our mediator, so yeah.
Well,
That's it. All right, hey man. First and foremost, we give all honor, glory, and praise to
Yahweh Bashim Yahushai Bashim Kodesh.
well. All right, so we want to elect.
Well, that's all.